L.E.O.G. 18.
Thank you, Count.
18 L.E.O.Gs.
And this time we'll be talking exclusively about Captain Britain. No. There's not 2 hours of discussion.
Wow.
Okay, since you were doing that vampire accent, I was afraid we were going to talk about Twilight.
No.
Yeah.
True Blood.
Here's the answer for
They're like vampires, except they're sparkly and they're not.
I was
like
afraid we were going
vampires.
to talk about Alan Davis's run of Excalibur, and I was a little worried.
That is funny, though. It's like, yeah, they're just like vampires, except instead of dying when they go in sunlight, they just kind of sparkle. So they're really more like, I don't know, some sort of special edition
Okay.
My Little Pony.
Honestly, someone emailed me about this, and I was really upset about Twilight there for a while. It's like, oh, they get pretty when the sun shines?
What?
That's kind of the thing, is that sunshine doesn't burn them. But
What?
if you look at the old myths of vampires, really, there are no rules.
No, well,
They're-
Dracula didn't even die from sunlight.
Exactly.
In fact, he just couldn't use his powers.
The
he
first
couldn't,
time,
turn into a bat. and
the
mist
first
and
time we
stuff.
were ever introduced to sunlight hurting a vampire was the Nosferatu film, believe it or not. And the vampire myth predates that by a couple of 100 years. There's so
If
many
not
different
more.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so many different variations on it that I really can't hold anything as just untouchable.
But basically vampires, the whole myth of vampires and werewolves is just based on really good serial killers.
That
Really, it was people who could kill and get away with it and couldn't be caught, and everybody's just like,
Well,
it must be mystical.
Werewolves go back to Norse mythology. Really, to berserkers. I mean, that
what
is really...
goes back to Norse mythology?
Werewolf!
Werewolf! Like, all this being said, you could still take you could still take how much I care about Twilight, put it into corporeal form, place it somewhere, and still have room for, I don't know, Galactus's Starcraft.
So basically,
So stop asking me questions about
fuck Twilight. We don't care.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I'm not going to see it. That's the end.
There are
because I could have sworn that you were a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, exactly.
There are 2 vampire films out in the theaters right now. One of them you will easily see. It's called Twilight. The other one you will have to hunt for. It's called Let the Right One In.
And that's
see it.
the good
Go
one.
see that one.
Ooh. But we are not a Coco, so we're not going to spend 2 hours arguing about fucking vampires in sunlight. Who cares?
So I should put all my True Blood notes away? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Unless
Not
unless we're going to talk about Anna Paquin's boobs.
Yes.
Yeah, which I could do 2
Well,
hours
I could do
on.
that.
Yeah. Two weeks ago, we did Captain America for most of the episode. I'm just going to do a quick follow-up here. Dexter asked, surprised you guys didn't mention James Marsden for Captain America. Dye that blonde hair, I think he could pull it off.
Too little.
He's the only person I've heard who even I didn't go, no, immediately, though.
No. I mean, the guy is clearly a comics fan. Yeah. He's got the look.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's got the
Oh,
acting
yeah.
chops.
Yeah, no,
Really?
he was way into X-Men before he got signed as Cyclops.
Good for him.
Wow.
Good for him.
Did not know
And,
that.
and he's a great actor who throws himself in any role. I mean,
Yeah.
he's really versatile.
His stock is rising. Okay.
But
He needs a chin
fairly
implant, though.
small guy.
You know what? I didn't say this last L.E.O.G, but I'm going to say it now. He might be a little old, but Matt Damon.
Anyway.
Short.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Too short.
no, I
way,
think he
way,
would be
way
a great
too short.
Steve Rogers,
In fact,
but-
everyone in Hollywood is under 4 feet tall. They all
I
are.
mean, the thing is, there's a lot of superheroes that don't have to be tall. Clearly, Iron Man is one of them.
Yeah.
But with Captain America, you're talking about the ideal human.
So he needs to be
Yeah.
like 6'2",
The-
6'3", you saying?
Yeah,
Which,
yeah,
you know,
6'3", 6'4".
And so we'll just say
wow.
it. Short people, you suck.
Thank you.
Obviously, you're not the evolution of the human race.
come
well,
on.
it's not that short people suck. They just can't play Captain America.
That's right. Or basketball. Anyway.
Oh.
Okay, just kidding.
Yeah,
Totally kidding.
I can't play Captain America or basketball.
Yeah.
So,
But you're not short.
but I'm good at double. I'm relatively short, but I'm
Right?
good at double dribble on the Nintendo.
You've
so
always been tall to me, Jason.
Don't you ever say that again?
Good night, everybody.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, this
happy
show is
holidays.
Tall
over.
in stature. I didn't say long.
Oh, we're talking
You
about
just
horizontal.
Good night, everybody.
Very uncomfortable.
That wasn't
right
a
now.
gay joke. Honestly, no.
No, it wasn't a joke. It was what is the opposite of what a joke is?
Boy, feeling
Mary,
awfully
where's Mary?
uncomfortable,
Is
you
Mary still
guys.
here? Jesus, Mary!
All right. So N8, who apparently has become our new biggest fan.
You know
Sorry,
what? Nate,
Zero.
Nate is a pretty kick-ass
Yeah.
guy. So
Yeah, I like Zero a lot. Zero, thank you, but man, Nate's just getting in there with a good
Yeah.
question.
So now N8 and Zero, the guys we're talking about, I don't even know these guys.
Well, Zero is the guy who constantly, no matter where he posts, goes, "Long live L.E.O.G."
Yeah.
Really?
You know
That
what?
guy.
Hey,
That's Zero?
props to Zero.
Yeah.
Props to seriously.
Mad props to Zero.
Yeah,
Okay.
seriously.
Dig it.
I just feel bad because we still have never answered one of his
Yeah,
questions.
because he hasn't asked anything that we.
Today is today.
But Nate is no, actually I don't have a Zero.
No!
But Nate is one of our new big fans, and I like Nate a lot. And he asked an interesting question. I don't know much about this, but maybe you guys do. I titled this question, "Does DC have its own Quesada ass face?"
Yes.
With Brubaker's well-done run on Captain America, do you think this is Dan Didio's, DC's very own Joe Quesada, inspiration for the Batman R.I.P. storyline and the upcoming Superman Leaving Earth storyline that allegedly got James Robinson to all but leave DC?
I heard about James Robinson leaving DC, but I didn't know what it was about.
Well,
I didn't know it was about Superman leaving Earth or whatever.
Apparently they got it back together and there was this big like cover
Yeah.
up. No, there was never a fight, we
Right.
swear. But DC had actually sent out things to like Wizard Magazine and other people saying, no, don't even mention his name. Don't write anything about him. He's on the blacklist. DC wants our name associated with this guy in no way.
Well, do you have any ideas what the story was about of Superman leaving Earth?
I haven't. It's apparently the way they want to wrap up this whole new Krypton thing.
Because that doesn't sound
I'm not special anymore.
it doesn't like the worst idea. I mean, the fact is, this whole new Krypton storyline they got going, it's the best storyline they've had in Superman in ages. I mean, you know, I talked to a guy in a comic book store about how we both were like, just couldn't imagine ourselves reading Superman. And yet lately, ever since the Richard Donner stuff came in, it's been great. And this new Krypton is the perfect evolution of it. But with such a great story, it's how do you wrap this up? What's the end result?
The Mark Millar syndrome.
But it is like when you flip things like this, you have such a big action, you have to have an equal reaction. And Superman leaving Earth seems like the kind of thing that, like, yeah, that's viable, something he might do.
You know, I just, and I know we're going to get into this later, but it really seems like a Grant Morrison move in that he leaves everything in fucking ruins for the next writer. Really. And that would be something he would do. Although I haven't read it, but I heard his All-Star Superman is outstanding.
That's what I hear.
But that is something Grant Morrison would do is, all right, everything's horrible, Metropolis is in ruins, Superman leaves Earth. Here you go.
Yeah, good luck, guy.
Well, I mean,
he pulls what will be from this point on called a George Bush.
Right.
It's not like they're gonna. It's not like if that happens, they're gonna go. Okay, well, our cameras don't go outside of Earth's
Yes.
atmosphere, so we're just gonna follow a new Superman. No, it's gonna follow Superman wherever he goes. Superman's had many adventures all across
Except
the universe.
he's done this before. He killed a guy before and was so upset about it, he left Earth for a while.
Pussy.
To get his
You're
head back
bitching about
together.
James Bond. Superman kills one lousy guy, and you're like, "Oh, it's okay. I understand."
Well, because if Superman makes it okay for himself to kill one guy, he knows he's just going to start killing guys left
Kill
and
us
right.
all.
And the job description between Superman and, I don't know, an assassin are a little bit different.
Hey, Superman, I know you're all mad now. Look how this guy's screwing up Spider-Man. What?
Flash fry his brain until
I
it
would
steams
totally
out of his
start
ear.
reading Superman and Spider-Man if they had Superman go and kill Joe Quesada.
Yeah, no, totally.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up that L.E.O.G chestnut. But anyway.
Hey, you may now take your first shot, L.E.O.G. Drinking James Bond.
Exactly.
Oh, here's shot number 2. I like the prequels.
Let the games
Bam.
begin.
No, we did Werewolf, so that was shot number
That's
one.
shot number 3. That's right.
I think as far as the answer to the question, did Dan Didio, did he start reading Fallen Sun and go, oh my God, Marvel killed a major character? I guess DC should kill a major character because we've never tried that before. Dude, the entire Justice League has been knocked off at least once.
Well, yeah, seriously, if you look at
Yeah.
the number of times that Superman has died over since his inception, it's literally
It's just
into like the 60s.
I know, it's like Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent can barely stroll to the damn bathroom without somebody, Deadshot poking up from under the toilet and offing them.
Yeah, you could do a montage, like comic book cover, music video to Bohemian Rhapsody with just covers with Superman's tombstone, and you'd still have a few issues.
Actually, I think
Is this the real life? Is Grant Morrison writing?
Actually, I think the Benny Hill theme would probably be more appropriate.
Well, what's funny to me, I remember it was a few years ago, they were having a big war going on, and their big major character to kill was Steel and Aquaman. And Warner Brothers
because
himself,
we haven't killed them yet.
Right. And Warner Brothers came in and said, you know what? We heard this rumor that you killed one of our big cash cow characters. Maybe not one of the biggest, but we do sell a lot of notebooks and lunchboxes. Whatever. We know you didn't really do that. So we're going to turn around, and when we turn back around, we're sure he's going to be alive. And sure enough, DC found a way to go like, oh, no, Aquaman's not really dead, see?
Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think at this point when one of them dies, that everyone else would just go, huh. And that'd be it. You know?
Yeah. Whoops.
Well, honestly, you guys, I mean, I know how, I'm just wondering if you feel the way I do. Like, whenever I hear about a major character's being killed, I go, for how long?
Here we go
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
The only time it has stuck in the DC universe is with Flash. That's it.
That's
with
true.
Barry Allen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
did they bring
now.
him back recently?
Nope.
Okay.
See, if anybody writes comics is listening to this, they'll be like, nobody brought back Barry? Oh, shit.
No,
Well, there you go.
Barry's back.
Oh, Barry
what I
is
thought.
back.
I know,
Barry is back.
Oh, he is?
He is Final Crisis.
God.
Barry
They
has
even
come
brought-
back.
We would have been Captain Marvel before,
Yeah, but isn't he like,
2 months ago?
a
But
ghost? Or...
No, he's well. There hasn't been any indication of that, but he is a key player in Final Crisis. Barry Allen.
Well,
yeah.
I mean that makes sense because like he was like one of the major turning points in the original Crisis.
Yeah.
I can understand that, but that's all well and good. I hope they don't bring him into. Oh, now he's going to start headlining the series again. It's like, nah,
well, I am not a DC guy. That's been firmly established. But
you sure know an awful
I'm
lot
gonna
about
say,
him.
you
Somebody
should know
keeps
more
saying
than I
that.
do.
But his appearance in Final Crisis was really moving. It was really good because Wally is sitting there talking to him, going, Barry, no, wait. You've been gone forever. Do you know how I feel right now? And Barry's like, oh, yeah, hey, good to see you, Wally. Literally, yeah. And
Nice.
it was actually really well done.
So they didn't do it like you just described it.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I think that DC is way more nihilistic lately, and I'm going to use that word again later in the podcast. But I think DC is way more nihilistic than Marvel in the last 2 years. I think they've been unnecessarily dark, and I think they're going to pull out of it in the next 6 to 9 months.
I was just going to say, yeah, you know what? DC is like Janet Jackson, where she had this strict home bringing where sex was not part of the equation. And then once she moved out and discovered sex when she was already in her late 20s, she went nuts with it. That's all she could sing about. It's like, yeah, the rest of us already know about this. I know, but it's new to me. Isn't it awesome?
Man.
Only Leon can do that.
God, when
And
Ollie
it worked.
Queen co-starred in Good Times, that was awesome.
I mean,
No, Mama, no. I'll be good, Mama. I promise, Mama. No, Mama, please don't burn me.
so that's why she liked sex. She was dating Ollie Queen.
Boxing glove
knows a few
arrows,
things
good
about
times.
that mustache tickles in all the right places.
Apparently,
so cool.
His wide slate of chicks he's tagged seems to indicate.
What,
Ollie is the
one over and
Tony
over?
Stark of the DC
Ollie is
universe.
Hell yeah.
Tony Stark in the
No,
DC universe.
he's only ever been with Black Canary. Who else?
Bullshit.
Hell
They
he
talk all the
has.
time about other girls he's tagged.
Yeah.
He was
Oh.
totally a
They
playboy.
broke up all
He's
the time.
cheated on her 3 times. He's like,
Just in the latest series,
The guy who
he's-
talks the most hasn't done shit.
Ollie's a
yeah,
philanderer.
but it's a comic book we've actually seen.
Are you kidding? He's the only guy in the whole universe that actually gets laid.
Ollie fucked Speedy at least 4 times.
just in passing?
You're not gonna do the horse anymore.
This question is from Maven Cree, who says, "Help! Damsel in distress. Now I can follow L.E.O.G almost perfectly. I get about 92% of the references you guys make, but I've reached an impasse and I don't know what to do. What in the 9 hells is Batman R.I.P. about? What in the holy fuck is going on in that story? I just don't get it. This is the most disjointed piece of crap. I'm going out of my freaking mind. Help me, L.E.O.G. You're my only hope.
You are totally getting it then.
I'm gonna
Because what you're reading is the machinations of a drug-addled lunatic who thinks he knows how to do magic.
I am Greg. If you'll help me restrain Leon, he's
Yes.
about to go into a berserker rage.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Anytime we
Hold on.
mention berserker,
Yes.
R.I.P.
Yes.
Or Batman, R.I.P.
Are you okay? You okay, Leon?
Well, this is hard because I know exactly how she feels because reading this book every month, I read it and go like, I don't understand what the fuck just happened here. This character's coming in out of nowhere. It cuts from scene to scene with no kind of fluidity. And in the end, it's like, what, really going to kill Batman? I mean, hasn't this been done to death? What is the point of it? And so to get prepared for tonight's podcast, I pulled out all my issues because everybody talked about the final issue and how brilliant it was. And I read it, and I was like, okay, it does wrap more up than I expected. I'm not sure how I feel about it. And I pulled out all of them and read it. And when you sit and read it all in one sitting, I couldn't believe it, but it actually made sense.
Well, do a little synopsis of what's been going on. With
A spoiler.
As you can tell.
Oh,
Big time
boy.
spoilers.
I mean, just as best as you can.
This
do.
is spoiler territory because there are so many twists and turns within Batman, R.I.P.
Yes.
So
Well, let's see. Okay. For the umpteenth time, Batman finds a girlfriend who figures out who he is.
or he just lays it on the table for her because
Well,
he can't help
it's-
it.
so
Literally.
I'm Batman. Want to fuck?
I'm Batman.
I mean, I hate for this to be part of the Batman legend, but apparently he can only have a girlfriend if she's going to know who he is. I mean, if he's not telling her, or she's not figuring out, it's Alfred. It's like, hey, Alfred, are you unfamiliar with the term secret identity? So he's dating this chick. There's been like 3 crazy Batmans who were maniac cops walking around. This goes back to this is so hard for me to explain because it's so convoluted. But Batman went through an experiment where he went in an isolation chamber. And this Dr. Hurt, so aptly named,
Would seem like a great idea to work
Sorry.
with.
Yeah, it's just like the sentence simple synopsis and Grant Morrison
Yeah, exactly.
has never really been uttered
You
before.
went to go see Dr. Hurt. It's like when you look down the list for proctologists, you don't go to Dr. Rip Your Ass Apart.
He's like, hey, they're in my preferred providers list. So
You know what?
What are you gonna
As
do,
much as you guys
HMO?
laugh at that, right here in town in Austin, there is a vasectomy doctor named Dr. Richard Chop.
Dick Chop.
Dick
Dick
Chop.
Chop.
And I have a lot of friends who've gone to him
Yeah.
with the idea like, well, with a name like that, he must be good. Like, you guys are morons.
They want the certificate or something.
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
The
So anyway,
t-shirt.
this guy convinces the police that like, hey, he gets a secret little like team of 10 policemen to volunteer for this experiment because he says, look, Batman's done so much great work for the city, but if he goes away, what are we gonna do? We need to train up like some Batman replacements. So I'm gonna have 10 guys running through tests, and the top 3 are gonna be, sort of like Batman backups. And we'll bring Batman in here, put him in an isolation chamber so we can study him.
Yeah, because there aren't like 50 fucking superheroes running around the rooftops of Gotham at any given time.
God, I'm hating you for making me explain this.
Hey, they asked, and we have
I
to do
know,
our duty.
I know.
Yeah, you were the idiot who sat down and read
I
it
know.
before you came
yeah,
here.
it's
I'm
funny-
right there where she is. I'm like, I read it twice now, and I went, I still have no clue what the fuck.
Honestly,
happened
it's one of these things like when I was reading it, I was like, okay, I'm with it. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, wait, what am I talking about? Okay, so basically,
Leon, keep going. It's a really good story.
okay, some time ago, Batman got invited to the sort of like the Batman's Club, where it's a club of all these superheroes with sidekicks who are inspired by Batman from all over the world, and they meet up on an island.
And
come on,
Batman
dude.
Well,
shows
no,
up.
the thing about this is a lot of this stuff is Grant Morrison decided to copy the idea of people like Neil Gaiman who have gone back to like 50s and 60s eras comics and dredged up some of the silliness from that era and made it cool, like Neil Gaiman did with Miracle Man, for instance.
Right.
Only Grant
that was
Morrison
Alan
isn't that
Moore
good about it because
who did
the Batman Club, that's a 50s storyline. The whole like his alien persona that he takes on
Yeah.
is a 50s storyline. Yeah, almost all the stuff that he's using as plot points plots are, like the Heroes Club and the Villains Club. It's all stupid stuff from the 50s.
It comes down to this guy, Dr. Hurt, who has been trying to had this plan to psychologically break Batman forever, like a decade, and been slowly working it.
Literally has nothing better.
Nothing better. So his plan for breaking him is when he had him in the isolation chamber, he gave him a trigger word that would make him, I don't know, under his power. He falsified documents that said that Thomas and Martha Wayne were swingers who had orgies with Alfred, and Alfred is really Batman's father. And
you heard it right.
Thomas Wayne has faked his death and he's still alive.
Which everyone in Gotham went, oh, that sounds plausible, and immediately bought into it. So
This is crazy.
Yeah. I'm just picturing Batman showing up at the Batman Club convention with all these guys from like the Batman of Paraguay, all sitting there in the audience, and Bruce Wayne sitting there going, well, this is the gayest shit.
Actually, that's almost what happened.
I have. They did the same thing in a '50s era Green Arrow, and I have a copy of it, and it was guess who was the artist on it?
Oh God, who?
Jack fucking Kirby. Awesome.
So they capture Batman. They come up in the Batcave, this secret Batcave. They come up in there,
which they just waltz.
They just
right
waltz in. Yeah. Once Dr. Hurt has all his pieces set up, he sends the club, because there's a club of villains to offset the club of heroes.
Yeah, because
I totally lost. Wait.
I know, me too.
There were still some costumes left at the Goodwill.
So the club of villains waltzes into the Batcave, capture Bruce Wayne. They shoot him up with what's called
it's
weapons
grade crystal meth.
Yeah, weapons grade crystal meth. I'm like, I've never.
The hell is that? Weapons grade crystal meth?
No, they're using that in Iraq, I hear.
Oh,
What the?
Obviously, you guys haven't been communicating with enough of the Spill members lately.
Yeah, weapons grade crystal meth and street heroin.
Those
Which is actually two drugs
words-
that would fight each
That
other.
is so weird because those were the names of my two dogs when I was a kid: weapons grade crystal meth and street
I thought
heroin.
we had switched over to using Special K Tomahawk missiles over there.
I mean, yeah. So those words are actually printed.
Yes.
in the book.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I reread them 6 times because I couldn't believe that that's what was written down there.
Weapons grade crystal
That
meth.
doesn't even make sense in any level. But, okay, so yes, I want to add this. This is right after he's shown his new girlfriend,
Yeah, the Batcave and everything.
and he knows he believes there's this conspiracy that's trying to make him lose his mind, trying to take away his thing.
But you couldn't possibly be part of it, darling.
She starts going, you know what? Have you thought that maybe you're crazy, Bruce? Maybe you should give all this up and lead a normal life. Maybe you're the one who's insane. And at that moment, was there a reader who didn't go, oh, gee, I wonder if she's in on it on something?
Well, not only that.
I really just wish he had said, shit, you sound like Clark. Shut the fuck up already.
Well, even right before that, she's like, because she's the leader of some country, and she's like, oh, my country needs this money, and I've been invited to this weird kind of fundraiser thrown by the Black Glove, and they've invited you and me. And he's like, wait, the Black Gloves, they're the ones trying to drive me crazy. And he doesn't go like, wait, why is my name on your invitation?
Right.
But whatever.
She's the worst girlfriend ever, period.
Yes,
I
she
need
is.
some money. Come to me with this party for people who hate you. Don't you think you're crazy? Maybe you should give up what you do and just pay attention
that's the
to
thing
me.
is, most women
I've
are
dated
smart
chicks
enough
like
to
that.
actually like marry you first and then go like,
Yeah.
I'm sick of you playing bass. I feel, but you fell in love with me because I play the bass. Well, now I feel like the bass is more important to you than I am.
She's
Time to
like,
put away childish
Oh my
things.
God.
oh,
that's-
wow, honey, you might be crazy. Really? Guess what? I'm the goddamn Batman. What gave you the first clue?
Oh, God,
But that
too
we
close
have
to
to
home.
we have to
Oh,
get
that's
off
right.
subject there for a minute because
our own Greg
Yes.
is getting married.
getting
Just
married.
found out right before the
Yes,
broadcast.
yes. Wow.
Take the cowl off, Greg.
That would.
So yeah, dude, all that bass, you better play it now. 'Cause
Can
once
you
that
play
rings on
the
a
funeral
finger-
theme?
Sick of sex and fun, Greg has decided to get
Yeah,
married.
play us a funeral dirge.
Hey,
A little-
guess
a little
what?
Taps.
You're going to want to smash that at the end of the L.E.O.G. The Who style.
No, man. It's all joy, man.
Wait, you're gonna go play bass for your meatball friends instead of stay here with me?
Oh, you mean those fags that sit around and talk about comic books? Yeah, no, guess what? We're going to sit around and watch Sex in the City.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
You guys all met her. You know she's just.
It's time for you to watch a hatchet-faced 50-year-old have sex with a fireman. Come on, sit down.
We met her, but she does have a vagina, right?
Yeah,
it
but
all goes the same way.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
there's no variation.
Yeah,
on this.
we've met her, but guess what? They all fucking drink blood.
Yeah, but
No, she hasn't done that whole jaw elongation.
No.
Canines elongating
The cool
thing
thing
yet.
about her, she's got her
Werewolf,
own life.
werewolf.
She got her own life. She got her own business. It has nothing to do with me. And
Yes.
So, nah.
Guess who's going to be working the register on weekends?
But congratulations.
Yeah, no, man, that's awesome.
No, it's been 7 years in the making. So we've been together for 7 years. We figured.
Wow.
Can't believe she let you go this long.
She's beat the joy out of you already.
Yeah,
now.
You know what? She's your own Dr. Hurt. She's been planning this for a long time. And she's filling up the syringe with weapons-grade crystal meth.
You go home. You go home tonight, and you're like, "Hey, what's up, Jezebel Jet?" And she's gonna be like, "Oh shit, he knows."
Yes.
By the way, back to the topic. If somebody did give Batman like. It's got to rip out of me like weapons grade crystal meth. Wouldn't like half of Gotham be dead? Wouldn't he just leap out into the streets and go, "I really am God. I can't fly, but I can kill."
No, he's gonna be like, "Oh shit, so I sleep 45 minutes less at night.
Well, it's like he's got like
Now
this-
I have time for gardening."
Apparently, he's got a collection, according to these books, of almost every single anti-drug that's out there, any anti-venoms. And, assuming that he must know there is in the DC universe weapons-grade crystal meth going around, that this would be something that he might, have one of those on him.
He got all of those from Nancy Reagan.
No, don't spoil the ending before I get there.
Oh, okay, well, let's go back to the synopsis.
I have
right.
no idea where you came
All right.
from, man.
So
That was
Bruce Wayne
crazy.
is wandering through the streets like a homeless guy.
Wait, no, you're not at the point you got where
Yeah,
they
you gotta
went
get,
into the
get
cave.
right before that. The
No,
cave.
no, they kidnap him, inject him with their
Oh,
weapons-grade
inject-
crystal
okay,
meth and the
okay.
heroin,
Yeah.
dump him out on the street. He's wandering around like a bum, doesn't know who he is, and he meets a bum who says, "Oh, you got to go here. Oh, you got to go there. You get this."
Red, black, blue, green. The snakes are on top of the mountain. Oh, and you should take a right at the corner and just go around.
And he finally gets there, and he goes like, "Yeah, that old black bum told me to come here. That bum died yesterday."
I can't believe they used the ghost hitchhiker bit.
That's large
Fucking
Marge.
crypt keeper that told him, "By the way, Batman." He's basically behaving like me after any L.E.O.G recording.
Phantom 309. So with this, he picks up rags on the street and sews himself a red, purple, and yellow checkered costume, like the kind of costume that even the blind Daredevil would have gone like, "Dude, that's gaudy."
The kind of costume that the creeper walks past and goes, "Hey, dude, you might want to tone that down."
He looks like Doctor Who.
Yeah, and from this
Not
point,
one of the good ones.
he's the Batman of Zurin R. It just keeps coming back.
Which, if you weren't an obsessive reader of the worst periods of Batman, you might not know what that is. Which Grant Morrison just looks at you and goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you? You never read that period in the 70s? That was awesome."
Yeah.
I'm not going to explain it to you. Fuck yourself.
It was all about a Batman from another planet.
He was basically
another
the
planet.
Superman of. It was like Batman, but he had gone to some other planet, and in the worlds that planet's atmosphere or sun had given him superhuman powers like Superman.
Jesus Christ, they were doing a lot of drugs back in the 50s
yeah,
too,
seriously,
weren't they?
right?
Yeah, it was Comics Code Batman, so he couldn't beat up criminals anymore. So they had like every other Batman. He was like, "Oh, he goes to a different planet," and yeah, it was one of the. He goes to a planet and he meets like the version of Batman from that planet, which in DC 50s universe makes perfect sense.
Yeah, Wikipedia it. We cannot even do it justice.
But I thought that, I got the impression from this, that stuff didn't really happen.
No.
So in the sense is, it was all sort of like some sort of psychic backup he created for
It was
himself.
like during that his time in the isolation chamber where his brain kicked in and just built up a whole world to entertain itself. That's all those 50 stories.
Yeah.
Like Grant Morrison does every day, apparently.
Yeah, it was like, you know what? I need a backup personality, so let's create the 50s and 60s.
Okay, Batman's idea was like, hey, I never know when I'm going to lose it or somebody's going to really try to break me psychologically.
But he does fight a lot of like villains who use psychological, mind-altering shit.
Right. So his idea was like, okay, I need to like implant in myself a backup operating system, which is this other Batman personality, which I will turn into in time of crisis.
That's easy, and if you would like to, you can subscribe to get your own backup personality.
Batman is
It's
simple.
Batman DOS.
Yeah.
Great.
Batman doesn't want a blue screen, so he's got a dual boot operating
The bat
system.
screen of death.
Hold his power button down. Just hold his. Okay, look. Unplug him for 3 seconds and then plug it back in.
Actually download the Batmite attachment to that email, did you?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Tim Drake is like, so what happened to just beating the shit out of people?
I do like how Tim Drake comes into Alfred and he's just like, dude, I've had a lot of shit happen to me lately. Is Batman gonna like actually be my father at some point, or is he just gonna do his own
And
thing?
actually, I have a question about that. It's something that's only barely mentioned, and there's like appearances by this character Damien.
Well,
I don't know
what's
who the
been
fuck
running
that
before
is.
this was actually a pretty good storyline. It's way back from that whole Son of the Bat story that was done back in the late '80s or early '90s, where Talia, Ra's al Ghul's daughter,
Liam Neeson's daughter.
Yeah, has a son by him. Tells him like, "Oh, I lost the baby," but she really doesn't. She raises him. So he reaches a certain age, and he shows up at Wayne Manor. Is like, "I'm your son. You need to train me."
And naturally,
my mother sent me to you, and he's a total asshole.
He's a little fucker. Yeah.
I mean, he's
Just like real children.
he's great at everything he does, just like his dad.
But
Natural
he's a
ability,
complete prick.
complete prick.
Somebody needs to teach
Yeah,
us
so
about rock
he
bottom.
doesn't take after Bruce at all.
Yeah, exactly.
He like fucks Robin up like for nothing.
Oh wow, he's exactly like her. Hey, you little shit, we're gonna go fight crime. But I don't. Okay.
Put the green tights on. Shut the fuck up.
Can I wear pants that cover my legs? No.
They named him Damien, like he was going to turn out to be a great kid.
Exactly.
Yeah. This story can only end one way.
What's his last name? Apocalypse Bringer. It's a family name.
Black Canary standing on the edge of Gotham Manor. It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you.
Oh God. So skip to the chase.
Okay, so
Does he come with a pet Rottweiler?
So back to him being the Batman Azurian R, and he's crazy wearing his nutso costume, and he's got Batmite over his shoulder talking to him. And the weird thing is, okay,
Wait, say that again slowly.
oh, I'm sorry,
Just to make sure that no one misunderstands you.
Batmite,
Yeah.
is over his shoulder talking to him.
So if you didn't watch Filmation cartoons in the 70s, like 78 to 90% of the people
We
that are
are
listening
not
to this,
making
What
this
the
up.
hell's wrong with you?
Leon.
Batmite is it's the Batman version of Mr. Mxyzptlk. He comes from the fifth dimension, and he basically adores Batman, and he always comes to hero worship him, and he ends up fucking things up. And they did away with him in the 70s because they realized he was the stupidest thing to ever come out of
Remember
Batman.
the Flintstones episode?
Yeah.
He's the Great Kazoo.
Yeah,
He is the great
yes.
Gazoo.
Exactly.
Just
Batmite
not quite
is-
as gay.
Leon, continue with the synopsis.
All right, I'm trying to get this over with. Okay,
I know.
Oh, we're having fun the whole way.
All right, so
Plenty of opportunities.
Unlike actually having to sit down and read the fucking things
I
like
feel
we
like
did.
I feel like we're reading it. This has been like a half an
I'm
hour
giving everybody
synopsis.
a great service here.
we should have the make the little boo sounds when it's time to turn the page.
It's like Power Records, except, somebody makes you do a lot of acid before you start reading.
At the sound of Grant Morrison huffing paint, turn the page.
Oh, that's some good pants.
Out of Lagavulin, get me another bowl.
Me nostrils are filled with buttered sienna.
Leon, continue.
All right, now from what I can remember, having just read it like an hour ago, or reread it an hour ago. Let's see. Okay, so at this point, Dr. Hurt is assembling his danse macabre, which is sort of like the party in Eyes Wide Shut, with all the rich people who are coming. He's like, come one, come all, pay your money, and watch the destruction of Batman.
I will say this is actually better than Eyes Wide Shut. Though, I will say that.
Well, yeah, you don't have a cat walking across the piano.
By the way, isn't the Black Glove like the name of the 7th Spinal Tap album?
Now smell the glove.
Oh, okay.
Smell the glove.
Smell the Black Glove. No, wait. I thought Black Glove was an incense. Oh, never mind.
So during all this, they've captured Nightwing and have him in Arkham Asylum, where they're going to perform a lobotomy on him.
Which is almost completely unrelated to everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yes. They've taken over the Batcave. They've beat up Alfred and kidnapped him. They've kidnapped Bruce Wayne's girlfriend, Jezebel Jet. And they're trying to kidnap Robin, but they can't quite get their fingers on him because he's just so slippery.
Yeah. Unlike Nightwing, who's just like, total pushover.
Yeah. And they've decided to free the Joker. They've let him loose because
Always a great idea.
Yeah, exactly. How could this possibly go wrong,
The
guys?
Joker never fucks over his compatriots. Ever.
We'll free this guy who's killed everybody he's ever known.
I mean, I don't understand how the Joker's able to hire henchmen because he has like the worst firing practices ever.
I guess after you accumulate that many felonies, it's the only one who will hire him.
He must be not crazy when it comes to his bank account handler in Switzerland, though, because where does he get the money to hire these guys?
Well, it's not like he ever has to pay them because he kills them before
that's
they
true.
I believe he generally gets his money by killing banks.
It's like when you get hired, it's like no pay, but I promise a good reference.
Right. Trying to get to be the Joker by writing a bunch of checks.
Interns. He gets a bunch of interns.
So
he gets brought of the dead to work for him.
Where am I? Okay, so now that he's the Batman Azur R and he's interrogating people,
I don't
he's
even
going
know
to go
what the
back.
fuck you're talking about anymore.
I know, but he's on his way back to take down Dr. Hurt, the Black Glove Society.
While
Say
they're
that
waiting,
again because it makes Bo laugh.
Bo's up here dancing like a schoolgirl.
Bo's doing a little satyr
Hurt
dance.
and glove. I love it.
Yeah. Dr. Hurt says, okay, let's go to Arkham Asylum. We'll wait for him there, and we'll all get to watch this. It's going to be so beautiful. And the Joker's going to kill Robin or do something.
I'm sure it'll all come to play.
The only thing that I can think of to relate, this is like the comic book version of that scene in Zoolander where Will Ferrell comes out to explain child labor. Hey, Derek! It's like, hey, Bruce, did you know your mom and dad were swingers? It's true!
So
Carnival Batman comes back.
Yes, Carnival Batman.
Leon as our Homer through this Dante Inferno.
The Batman mind. It's great.
Somehow Batman gets over being Carnival Batman and puts on his real Batman suit.
What's up with that? It seems like it happens while he's buried.
Oh, right. They capture. That's right. They capture him. Yeah, he comes back, but they do get the drop on him because he's trying to save Jezebel Jet. Right. But the Joker has some kind of Joker formula with the red and black petals that knocks him out, and then Jezebel Jet wakes up to reveal that, like, aha, I was a part of the plot the whole time.
And the readers go, really? Wow, I never saw that
What a
coming
shock.
6 issues ago. Thanks.
So with that, they put him in a straitjacket and bury him in the ground, in the cold ground.
Which is like, let's build an elaborate trap for Batman rather than shoot him in the head, because that works great.
Well, you want to give him some more weapons grade?
Well, apparently,
weapons grade crystal meth. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we put a weapons grade fucking bullet through his head? No, that would be far, far too easy. We're going to bury him in this weapons grade shallow grave, which the greatest escape artist on the planet outside of Mr. Miracle couldn't possibly get out of.
We're gonna Feed him some weapons grade tea and crumpets.
Yeah, apparently weapons grade crystal meth
Doesn't
not that strong.
Yeah.
but Bo
It
summed
kept
up,
him awake through the whole buried alive thing.
Bo summed it up perfectly. Yeah, they keep him. They don't kill him. They keep him awake, and they figure like, oh, we'll let him just suffer there and dig up his remains. But he's the greatest escape artist ever, and he gets out.
And the whole time, Joker's like, he's gonna get out of this.
Yeah. Joker's going, you guys are a bunch of dumbasses. Caught through the whole thing, they're like, oh, Joker.
Joker's like, yeah, I've never done this shit before. I don't know.
But good luck
Fuck
with
it,
that.
go for it. See what happens.
And I am out of here. Yeah, he takes off. So when Batman comes back, or maybe it was the first time, he's got what he calls the Bat Radia in his hand. And they go like,
Yeah, what the shit is that thing?
That's just some little cheap radio. What are you going to do with that?
Radio
and
Shack.
they pick it up and they go like, oh, hold on. It's got something in it. Hey, this isn't bringing signals in. It's sending them out. And that's when the Joker's like, yeah, that's that thing he does all the time. I'm leaving, but hey, good luck with this. And sure enough, and they're like, ching, 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 what's that? Oh, he just sent a signal that locked us in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are fucked. So from that point, yeah, they are fucked. Batman goes around, beats the shit out of all of them, has his face off with Jezebel Jet, where he tells her like, bitch, I knew you were in on it the whole time.
Yeah.
Come on. Wait,
Just like
I am the
everyone-
Batman, right?
Just like everyone reading this series.
Yeah.
Although it's not entirely genuine. He's got this whole, I was just acting. Alfred told me acting. I was never in love with you. And I don't know about that.
Well, he admits that he's like, at the moment I fell in love with her, that's when I started to suspect, wait a minute.
Well, because I was going to say, when he's talking shit to her, it felt kind of like Carlisle's Lion King apology. It's entirely genuine.
It was just an elaborate hoax on my part. I wouldn't really go ape shit crazy and talk about communist messages in Disney movies because anyone who did that would obviously be insane.
The black glove made Carlisle hate the Lion King.
That would explain that purple, orange, and checkered costume I saw him wearing the other day.
Yeah. So right in the nick of time, Nightwing wakes up and he escapes his trap and he helps beat up the henchmen. Most of them are captured except Dr. Hurt, who hops on a helicopter and Bruce Wayne follows him. Where he says, "Oh, you should leave me alone, let me go, and I won't let everybody know that your parents were degenerates."
No, he says, you know, all of Gotham believes this gossip that I've started, that your parents were swingers and your dad faked his death and all this bullshit, but if you swear
Your allegiance to the
Black Glove, then I will put the kibosh on all those rumors. And
Talk about
Yeah.
way little, way late.
Yeah.
Batman is like, yeah, don't think so. Think I'm going to beat the crap out of you.
Right. And he says, but I am Thomas Wayne.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
And he's dressed up in like a version of the original Batman costume that Thomas Wayne wore to the party.
Yeah, you know,
the like pseudo retcon origin.
If you really are Thomas Wayne and you're about to get your ass beat by Bruce Wayne, the last thing you want to tell him is, hey, I'm Thomas Wayne, because you don't want Bruce Wayne to say, oh, really? I've wasted 30 fucking years of my life? And you're okay?
I'm rich. I could have been up to my ass and tail, you dick.
Well, plus it's just so like, really, you're my father and we're the same age?
Yeah, how does that work?
Doubting that.
Well, I mean, you know, it's another Morrisonism. The whole explanation is so convoluted. You know, he was an actor on the movie called The Black Glove, which came out a long time ago. That was played a stunt double or
Just
something.
reading Morrison at this point is like listening to your junkie friend tell you what happened to your wallet.
Yes. See, that's the thing.
Well, you see,
Listen very closely,
there
kids.
was this fifth dimension, and I was in an isolation tank. And then there was this secret society called the Black Glove,
Yeah.
and they came around, and one of them turned out to be my dad, who wasn't really my dad, because my dad was my butler.
Yeah,
Except it
that's
wasn't.
Dude, there are 12-step programs in the UK, I'm positive.
That's the thing with kids. Pay close attention. Anytime you read something that Grant Morrison writes, if it's a 12-issue arc, drop it after issue 6. Okay? Because everything descends into absolute fucking madness.
Well-
And the editorial of the company will undo it within 3 issues. I guarantee.
Which brings us to the end of Batman R.I.P.
Oh my
the,
God!
The
okay.
whole
the big
as Grant
death of
Morrison's
Batman.
been saying the whole time. It's like, oh, it's what was he even at
Yes.
some point said?
Oh, it's unlike any death you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a psychic death.
He's saying,
and
he
you're
was saying
not
it's
going
a
to fucking
psychic
believe
death.
it.
We're not actually killing Batman, but we're destroying everything
There's
that
some
Batman
things worse
is.
than death.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, how is this? This is nothing like what
Like
you
this
just
arc,
said.
like this story. It's
Here's
worse
the
than
big
death.
spoiler. He jumps into the helicopter, and the helicopter explodes because no one in the DC universe could ever get out of an exploding aircraft. That's
And
never
it
happened
explodes
before.
over water. If that tells you anything.
The only way they could leave themselves a bigger exit door is if he had just jumped into the water and they're like, I don't know, we didn't find a body, but I guess he's dead.
There's this big, supposed to be touching picture of Nightwing holding Batman's empty cowl and cape and looking kind of dour. And I just imagine him like, a thought bubble going, "You're such a dick, Bruce."
I'm gonna do this right now.
Dick Grayson
douchebag.
is holding the cowl thinking, all right, until you get your shit together, I
I'll
guess
do
I'm
this again.
Batman.
Yeah. Which brings us
I
to
swear to God, you motherfucker, if Azazel shows up and beats my ass again, I'm going to kill you for real when you show up again.
Which brings us to the Don's question, who says, with Batman R.I.P. over and Morrison writing 2 issues that come out in December about Batman's career, and before Neil Gaiman takes over for 2 issues in January and February, which I did not realize was happening, who do you think will take over the Batman mantle? And don't say
Azrael.
to be funny.
That's funny.
Now, that's assuming that that's going to happen at all.
I said Azazel, which is
Well-
which is one of the demons from Sandman.
Yeah,
Which I think that's who I'm going to say is going to
There
take
you
over.
go.
Actually,
There you go. Now-
Azazel
Yeah.
from the I believe issue 4 of Sandman.
Why
Yeah.
not just put the demon in a bat costume while you're
Yeah,
at it?
it's gonna be Etrigan.
Jason Blood.
Yeah, I think the most interesting choice clearly would be for Man-Bat to become Batman for a while.
We're bat. We're bat.
But I think it's obvious. I mean, like the one person within the Batman family who has not worn the Batman costume.
Alfred?
Yes.
That is not true. He has dressed up as Batman several times.
Oh, he's done it
that's
to
true.
put,
Oh,
to
yeah.
take the thing off
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
But he
Mostly
hasn't
when he's
actually-
trying to impress bitches that he brought
Yeah.
to the manor.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone who hasn't worn the fucking cowl.
I never thought Batman would talk in an uptight English accent.
Yeah, I'm like,
So, I'm the Batman, let's fuck.
The guys at Tribe Comics were speculating it being Jason Todd.
You know what?
I can't see Dick Grayson and
well, yeah, exactly. Well, you've been a vicious criminal since you come back, but go ahead.
You did kind of step out of line there, buddy. I'm just saying you got to go back to the
I
beginning.
really hope it's Dick Grayson. I really
Oh
do.
God, I was reading the new issue of Robin, and he described Jason Todd as the Jan Brady Robin, which I thought was one of the best fucking things I've read in a while.
Of course, if they did decide to make it Jason Todd, then we'd
That's-
have to go back
that's
to that
so Winter
earlier
Soldier.
question about copying what's going on at Marvel and say, okay, well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But it would be, in this case, a spectacularly dumb idea that they had not led up to right at all.
No, it's made of film.
Yeah. And I personally think that, like you were saying, Bruce Wayne not being Batman will last for tops a year.
It's
A
going to
year
be
tops.
temporary. They're going to bring Steve Rogers back as Captain America.
No, keep
Oh,
going
no,
with
that's just it. Nothing is
Yeah.
permanent.
And that's there's a speaking of Sandman there in the little one-off issue where he meets Hob Gadling. And they meet in the 1700s, like 1789, I believe, and he talks about going to see. He talks to the Sandman about going to see King Lear, and he's like, the idiots gave it the idiots gave it a happy ending, and Morpheus just looks at him and says, "It'll go back to the way it was. Things always return to the forms." And that's exactly it. It's just like
Yeah.
Harley Quinn's Green Arrow, Clark Kent's Superman, Bruce Wayne's Batman.
you
Suck it
can
up.
send Superman away from the Earth. He's going to come back. Yeah.
Gwen Stacy stays dead.
Yes.
Except in
Please.
Ultimates.
Yeah, what is up with that? Anyway, I
they
missed
brought
that
back,
little run.
Did they bring
brought
back when Stacey?
You know
Yeah,
what?
they did.
Yeah.
Gee, is
in
that
the-
one of the? Wait,
And Brian
I think-
Michael Bendis.
I honestly
Ultimate
think-
Spider-
Bendis is doing it?
Well, to be
Ultimate
fair,
Spider-Man.
it was a
Oh.
mistake to have Carnage kill Gwen Stacy.
I
So
think-
It
soon,
really
yes.
was.
I think they
I
brought her
agree.
back to kill her, to be honest.
Yeah, well, they brought her back because we have to care about her first,
Yes.
which they didn't do in Ultimate.
Right.
And they need to
I
have
did.
they need to
I
bring
did
it
too,
back
yeah.
around and have. Well, I mean, she was okay.
I
as a
know what you
character,
mean,
but
I was not.
like we did.
I was not invested in her like I was
Right.
invested in the original Gwen
Personally,
Stacy.
because it is the Ultimate Universe, I would love it if they start making you think that, like she's more interested in the character. Oh, they'll get around to killing her at some point. But then the character we honestly do feel the same way that we felt about Gwen Stacy back then during the Jerry Conway run,
God, if
Mary
they
Jane.
killed Mary
and
Jane.
instead have the Green Goblin kill Mary Jane. That's
I will
where
cry
that's
like
the
a
way
little
I
bitch.
would go with it.
I'm going to say that right now. I will cry like a little
Oh, yeah, I'll
bitch
be
if
in
they
pieces
kill
if
Mary
they
Jane
do
in
that.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah. But that's the way if I was running that comic, that's what I would do. I'm just saying. That would make more sense.
Fuck you. You're
I'm just running a
You
podcast.
heartless prick.
Cyrus Quesada takes over Marvel.
So no, look, all I wanted to say, something else I wanted to say about Batman R.I.P.
Sure.
is that the artist Tony Daniel, I don't think he sucks, but I don't think he's very good.
I actually,
I
that's the
like
one
it.
thing I liked about it was the art.
Really,
Tony Daniel is the guy that launched Walking Dead.
Oh, I didn't
really?
realize
Yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
I love
I
Tony
love what he
Daniel.
did there.
I like
I'm
what
not
he
liking
did
his-
there. I don't think he's suited to Batman.
I don't
You
think so.
don't think?
I mean,
Not really.
for me, reading through it, I think a lot of what confuses me and probably other people is his storytelling. There's a lot of times I read the panel and the succession they should go, and I go, wait a minute, I should have been back here. Or things aren't. He doesn't emphasize the things that need to be emphasized, and the whole explanation of the story, it all takes place on one page, and you
Yeah.
look at it. It's Dr. Hurt in one panel and Batman in the other with just nothing but word balloons explaining all these crazy
the
concepts.
exposition issue.
Yeah.
I really wish, I haven't liked a Batman artist, anybody doing Batman for a while, and I really wish somebody would come in and do almost that kind of simplistic, gritty style. Like Darwin Cook did a few one-offs, and I loved his treatment on, and I've always loved Dave Mazzucchelli from Batman Year One as one of my favorite interpretations of the character, and I
Right
really,
on.
Well, see,
I really wish they'd
you're
go back to
hitting
something
on
like
another
that.
big point. I don't know whether to blame Tony Daniel or the inker on this, but there's no bold lines. It's just a page full of thin lines, and so nothing is really standing out. Like the where the emphasis should be, it's not there. You get a guy like Mazzucchelli or Darwin Cook, and they are all about the bold lines and
Yeah,
very
I love
express-
me some
very
thick
expressive.
lines.
They can get
Yeah.
a lot. They can get a lot of movement in one of their panels, and you know exactly what's going
Well,
on.
I definitely defer to your more technical knowledge, that's for sure. But there were some spreads in this particular series that I thought were just beautiful.
Yes. Ever so often
How-
there were
how
some of
much
those.
of it-
I'll give you that.
Honestly, how much of it though is the writer's choice?
No, it
You know?
well, I don't know. I mean, Grant Morrison might be big enough to choose his own writer, maybe not. I mean, but
Oh, you
excuse
mean
me.
artist?
I mean, his own artist. Yeah,
to
thank you.
dictate to the art.
Right.
You know what? I bet he is.
But now,
I really do.
as much as I'm dogging on Tony Daniel, could be he got these scripts and he was just as confused as the rest of us.
yeah.
Well, Grant Morrison may not be at DC much longer. Apparently, he's really mad because they're making him change the end of Final Crisis.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Well, they like he had written it and everything, and they said no, absolutely not. This is no. You have to rewrite
wow.
this whole thing.
DC's
yeah.
never done that before.
Well, he's
Alan
having
Moore
a-
has whined about that.
He's
but I
having a
don't know.
hissy fit about it, and Alan Moore stopped writing for DC for a long time.
And you
so-
know what? And the thing is,
Forever.
there's certain,
Forever.
there's certain
Would
areas
be
where
fair.
I agree. You have a problem with DC, and you should fight tooth and nail. But Alan Moore, and especially with Rick Veitch, when it came to Swamp Thing, I'm like, you guys, you've done fabulous work here, no doubt about it. But you don't own these characters,
Yeah, no.
Right.
And there's a point when you don't get to say, if they
Yeah.
say we don't want to do this character, you kind of have to bow to it.
Yeah.
Thanks for
It's
renting
like,
the house
listen-
for a while, but you're going to have to repaint
Yeah.
the room white.
It's like,
when
listen,
not.
you guys have bosses. Period. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you don't like it, really? Well, guess what? Oh, you're still pissed at Marvel? Okay, well, there's IDW and DEP. Avatar. Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, Rick Veitch threw a hissy fit because they wouldn't let him nail Swamp Thing to a cross like Jesus. They were like, "It's a little too out there for us." What? How dare you step on my art? I, sir, quit. And brought the whole industry with him, like on a whole freedom of speech thing. And I was kind of like, it's not yours. You don't get to do that.
No, I'm not saying that necessarily it's a bad thing. I mean, plus, it's Grant Morrison. He's fucking crazy. Who knows how he planned on ending Final Crisis? What his original...
Grant Morrison should be an editor, not a writer.
Was it the guy who invented LSD, Dr. Albert Hoffman, becomes a superhero and comes down and...
I was really expecting the last issue of Batman R.I.P. to be like, who is the Black Glove? Oh my God, it's Grant Morrison.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, let me ask you guys this. We've gone through this whole thing, and it was, it's supposed to be like when you get to the end of Black Glove, you find out who the ultimate villain was. Who was it?
I don't know. It was like they totally pulled the rug out from under you.
Yeah. I mean,
It was his heart. It was his heart.
It's like who killed the chauffeur in the big sleep? We don't know.
Who knows?
It was Joe Quesada.
Honestly, you're just glad it's over when it's over. That's it.
It is.
Yeah, now
it's just like doing too much acid. You saw a lot of interesting stuff, but when it comes down
But
to
now
it,
my stomach
you're glad
hurts.
it's over. Yeah, your stomach hurts and you're glad
After
it's
hour
over.
8,
You're
you're
ready
done.
to take a 9-hour nap
Yeah.
and eat a big greasy meal and start reading a different comic.
Right.
Jose Antonio Rivera.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I do too. We've asked got a lot of good questions from Jose. He says Batman R.I.P. has brought yet another mixed reaction ending to a big event. I've noticed this has been going on for a few years with things such as Infinite Crisis, Countdown, the past 3 to 4 years of Marvel's summer event books. It has me wondering whether the writers just can't put that satisfying cap on these huge stories, or if it's as we as fans have become so unable to be pleased that we can't accept an ending to be what it is. With these big events and lackluster endings, how do you feel? Is it a case of great ideas with horrible executions, or are we as fans being so used to nitpicking everything to death that we can't just accept an ending?
That is a great question.
You know
think
what?
so, too.
I would answer it for me personally. I don't know about everybody else. For me, it's that I'm reading a book and suddenly they hijack it for this story that they think is better than when I was reading. I'm already resentful for that, but I'm like, fine, if you're going to do this, make it worth it. And it's very rarely worth it when you get to the end of it.
Very rarely. Yeah.
And, I stay away from crossovers as much as I can. The only one I can remember being satisfied with lately was World War Hulk.
World War Hulk was really good all the way through and had a great ending, I thought.
I'm usually very excited about the crossover, but then once it happens, I'm usually disappointed.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of it is when you're building all these characters, you're building up to this big thing. They're saying, it's the end, it's the end.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's not.
Event fatigue.
It's kind of hard not to be a little disappointed that something bigger didn't go down. But, it's like you were saying with Neil Gaiman said in The Sandman, the stories always return to their forms. Well, the writers know this, and they don't want to have to write some lame year-long, almost everybody's dead still. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Booster Gold in another fill-in story, Here's the century leader of Marvel Comics for the next year. Won't you be happy?
I really like the events as long as they impact the universe lastingly, so to speak. And lately, I think they really have, for the most part. Not completely, but like Civil War, for instance.
House of M.
Those were mediocre story arcs, really, but they really did have a lasting impact on what was going on in the Marvel universe.
I like the way that both those events tie into the current event, which actually, on the whole, I've been enjoying quite a bit. We'll see how it is when it ends, but they've nicely tied in some of the major events of both of those and explained why they happened by nature of, guess what? These people were Skrulls the whole goddamn time.
Yeah.
I do think that high expectations do play a little bit of a part of it. But what do you want me to do? Lure them down? Because it's not going to happen. I mean, when I started reading comic books, you couldn't curse. You couldn't really kill anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
there were no cars. Dinosaurs were running around.
Exactly. And when I say
electricity.
Comics, I'm talking about cave paintings. No, I mean, I was when I started reading comics, the comic book code was still very much in effect. They had made some headway by 1971 when I was born to breaking down the barriers set by that in the 50s, but it was still pretty sterile. You know, since then, I've read Sandman, I've read Preacher, I've read all of these great articles, and Cyrus is grinning like an idiot.
I'm sorry, I'm
So
still
good.
laughing about the cave comics. Like, man, it sucked when there was a crossover event back then because you had to travel across the fucking country to read
That's
those
what a
things.
crossover.
I had to go to I had to go
then
to
the-
France, and then I had to go to a cave in Britain, and then
Eventually,
Norway.
you got the direct market where a pterodactyl could just fly the tablets over to you.
It sucked.
It's 11.
I was up to issue 15, and then Scandinavia froze over, and I had to wait like several millennia before I could read it again.
But you could get Thor to actually sign your comic.
Then I found a hammer.
You brought up The Day the Earth Stood Still. Has anybody else besides me watched that trailer and gone like, wait, isn't this the Silver Surfer all over
I
again?
know, that's what I thought, too.
That's what I thought too.
God, when geeks rule the earth, and we're close,
Yeah,
or when
almost
geeks
there.
rule the earth, you will go to the theaters, Spillions, and you will watch The Day the Earth Stood Still, and then all of a sudden, Norrin fucking Rad will show up on his silver surfboard, and children will sing, flowers will bloom, and all will be right with the world.
And Willow Rosenberg and Megan Fox will have lesbian sex on TV every day.
Your planet.
God.
Your planet. I mean, come on.
Just thought about that, like rad.
I'd just be
and
happy to see
surfboard together.
a good Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, that would be nice. That'd be
Yeah,
real
if
They need to
only
reboot that.
it had been done
Is that
as,
on your
as it
Christmas
was
wish list?
originally intended.
I wouldn't put it on my wish list, but just put it out there. Stephen Colbert is Mr. Fantastic. I just think it's
Oh, I know.
yeah, that'd be
well, he was
great.
already Mr. Fantastic
Yeah,
on the
I
Venture
know.
That
Brothers.
being said, if you do that, then you're going towards the almost total comedy Fantastic Four. You know, is there really a way to do a serious version of Fantastic Four with that Stephen Colbert?
It almost happened where the guy who directed Down with Love was going to direct a period Fantastic Four, and that would have been absolutely fucking bliss.
Yeah. No. At this point, I would actually welcome them saying, okay, well, we can't do anything with a license right now for regular Fantastic Four because douchebags have got it and they're still sitting on it. So let's get the license for Ultimate Fantastic Four and make a good goddamn movie out of it. You
Yeah,
know? I mean,
right.
I don't see why that couldn't happen at this point.
Well,
And in lieu of that, make a sequel to The Incredibles.
Yeah, there you go.
amen.
Instead of Cars. What the fuck, Pixar? What is that?
Okay, yes. An argument I have gotten into as recently within the last 24 hours, The Incredibles, the best Pixar movie, period.
Yeah.
It was on TV just the other day.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
totally
yes, I
mesmerized
watched
by it.
that too.
You know, fuck your fish and your Finding Nemo.
Hey, man, I like the fish.
I like
your-
the fish, too.
Your goddamn Short Circuit ripoff with Wally.
Oh man,
Oh yeah,
Jason's
number
on
Jason,
fire.
that was
number
good though.
5
that
is
was good
alive.
though.
That is exactly what it is. And
was
Cars
right.
is a Doc Hollywood fucking ripoff.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's Doc
Cars
Hollywood.
is Doc
It
Hollywood.
is. It's the exact same story.
That's true. And Bug's Life is Three Amigos.
Yes.
But Owen Wilson is no Michael J. Fox.
No, and Tropic Thunder is Three Amigos. Okay.
Wait, what?
I think
know,
you might be stretching. it.
I know there are three amigos in it. but-
Well,
You know what?
You
Stop
mu-
ripping off Three Amigos.
You
That's
must,
what I'm
you must
Now
admit
it's
that
Three
the
Amigos.
Tropic Thunder is different because it's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. You will fight.
Do I,
me.
do I
Big
need to
fucking
say it?
deal.
Do I need to say it? I will fight you. No, Three Amigos is way funnier than Tropic Thunder.
I did love the bad guy who was also in Romancing the Stone. He was funny. I like the sweater. It's very pretty.
Three Amigos, classic. Tropic Thunder, fuck Ben Stiller. I'm so sick. Please stop making 7 fucking movies a year.
Yeah. Well, you know, it took him. The reason this is so good is because it took 10 years to write. If he would only make a movie once a decade, I'd like Ben Stiller
Me
just
too.
fine.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
spend that time working on it because clearly you need it.
I actually am quite happy that Justin Theroux is going to be writing the Iron Man sequel.
Yeah.
I am too.
Okay,
I'm
fine
fine
with
with
that.
that.
I'm
Except
cool with that.
that just bit you just said about this taking 10 years.
Yeah.
How long is it going to take to write Iron Man sequel?
Well, it was mainly Stiller's baby, the Tropic Thunder. Thoreau co-wrote it with him, but Stiller it was always his idea, and he was always the one sort of dictating the terms of the time it was taking. making. you know?
And Leon, I mean, maybe he'll take the next 10 years and write that Avengers movie you've been hoping for. I know that's on your wish list.
So what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Xmas or Kwanzaa?
Wow.
Or Hanukkah.
Or Hanukkah.
Well, isn't Kwanzaa and Hanukkah basically the same thing? Menorah, come on. And no, they're not fooling anybody.
8 days, right? Is it-
Yeah, 8 days,
you're
5,
right.
7 days.
Yeah,
whatever.
Wow, what's up with that?
I have no idea what
What do you,
Knorr
Not
is.
even- I didn't even-
what do you want for the holiday season, Leon?
Yeah,
All right.
When I went to school, Kwanzaa was like a toy you could get that stretched real far. That was
It walks downstairs, runs over the stairs, runs over your neighbor's dog.
no. I think it was the thing that fought Stretch
It's
Armstrong.
on your back. It's great for a snack. It's log.
I'm pretty sure that the two black dudes in the room could take you, Cyrus.
No, I'm just
So-
saying. No, my point isn't
what-
anything against Kwanzaa. It's
And I
just
will not
They
help
didn't
you.
teach it when I was in school the way they
I
do
mean-
now. We didn't know what that was.
Well, he's right.
He's right.
Hey,
No, it started in
hey,
what,
it didn't teach me
68?
either.
It started in 68?
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
didn't.
that's a
but
Johnny
they,
come
they
lately.
didn't
Yeah.
immediately go. Hey, you know
No.
what?
No,
Honestly,
it was one of those. I mean, people in my family celebrate it, but it was one of those like when you investigate, you're like, what is this? It was developed by a professor in 1968.
Yeah, I'm
what
like,
is this?
dude, I got enough to deal with
Yeah,
Christmas.
I mean,
honestly, I got friends
festival.
like, what are you doing for Kwanzaa? I'm like,
It's like,
I got
nah.
enough shit on my plate right
no.
now.
So is this a black Scientology then? I
It doesn't ask you for money,
no.
and it doesn't sue you when you don't donate when you said you were going to.
Okay. Well,
It's,
fair
Ixnay on the all suit lay.
no,
Okay.
It's an African, somewhat of a taking African traditions, throwing them into 8 days where they use Swahili for the 8 days, or 8 or 7 days.
Swahili?
Raise your hand if you think the bass player needs to shut the fuck up.
I'm just trying to educate.
He is explaining and
hey
educating.
man,
and
he,
I
Well,
am.
I can't-
he
I
sat
can't
through the
even-
explanation of Batman R.I.P.
He did.
I can't explain. I can't remember all the days. Like one's Imani, one's
What does
this, one-
Swahili have to do with it?
because each day is supposed to represent African.
And Swahili is the most widespread spoken
Exactly.
language in Africa.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
exactly. So so each day is supposed to represent
A different act of
different-
genocide that happened in Africa.
Yeah, so we got AIDS, famine, war. No,
No, that's what white people celebrate.
no.
And
but
it's
it-
called Christmas.
no.
I thought it was called Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was Thanksgiving. What the Native Americans say, but it's like 8 days, and it's each one is like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like
The
it's
principles, the 8
Like,
principles.
and there's
of-
7 principles of Kwanzaa.
There's
One
dopey,
of them's
damn, you're
Imani,
making me tired.
and it's
sleepy.
Just, I can't.
That's right.
I can't remember all of them, but look it up. Google
See,
it.
I would get mad at you guys for being
Genocide-y.
so culturally insensitive, but I don't know.
If
this.
you knew what the fuck we were talking about.
No,
Okay, Wikipedia Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Leon, what do you want?
yeah.
Well, let's see. Barring getting anything that I can't have, like a good sandwich with Eva Mendes and Kerry Washington, I'm looking at the DC Absolute series here. Like we getting the New Frontier last year. Man, that was just like the greatest
Hell yeah.
thing ever. So I'm really hot to get the Absolute Watchmen.
Oh, yeah.
and the Absolute Kingdom Come.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm teetering on the Dark Knight because, man, I love to have the Dark Knight Returns and
Dark
that
Knight
big.
Strikes Back?
Well, see, that's the problem. The problem is half of it is Dark Knight Returns, one of the greatest graphic novels of all time. But the
Miller
other half of
realized
it-
that he would never be able to sell an absolute version of Dark Knight Strikes Back.
Right,
So,
so
he
the only way-
piggybacked it.
Which you're paying $15 for like the best possible version of the Dark Knight Returns, right? Totally doable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to pay $50 for the best
like,
possible version of Dark Knight. Strikes
Here's
Yeah,
this
the-
great
'cause
New
the-
York strip with a side of dog shit.
and here's the thing: like the Absolute Watchmen and the Absolute Kingdom Come, both retail for $75, but you can get them for $45 on Amazon, used. Not even used, but the Frank Miller stuff, the Ronin and the Dark Knight, $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no more pages.
Which is surprising for Ronin. I was like, really? Because I've found that most like people in comics, a lot of them don't even really remember it. Like even
Yeah.
people who read it and liked it are like, oh man, I totally forgot about Ronin.
Yeah.
Which is a great book.
Sure.
But yeah, surprised they would ask that much
I know.
for it.
Yeah,
Now, I mean,
Spillions, Legionnaires, Ronin, pick it up.
Yeah, not really
Yeah.
nice. One of the Frank Miller ones you don't have to feel bad about.
Right.
I think there's only a few rapes in it.
Yeah, right.
And
The
I'm
female
the goddamn
protagonist
Ronin.
is not a hooker. It's awesome.
That's true. And there's a TV show that the kid in there watches, which is Samurai Jack, basically, except 20 years before Samurai Jack came out.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So yeah, that's my wish list. Is really I want those volumes, those editions in there. Anything else, I'm kind of like, sure, whatever. But that's what I want.
A noble list. Bo.
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth in the hands of Joe Quesada, who would be tied up and left in my basement. Actually, if I could have anything for Christmas, it'd be to have Mary Jane married back to Peter Parker.
Oh,
That'd be
fuck yeah.
awesome.
That's a
I
totally
love you.
reasonable wish.
And a sweet one. That's like asking for world peace. I feel like a selfish prick
Exactly.
now.
That being said, for $250, the Justice League Trophy Room series of cool shit. They have a Joker cane with like a jester head on the top of it. It's so awesome, and I'd love to have it.
Nice.
Yeah, but you just started a crime spree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, this sounds like a terrific idea. Well,
Okay, they got the shrunken city of Candor too. If you don't
Yeah,
want to go
yeah,
there.
we talked about
and
that
now
last
they've been
time.
set free. We see how that was not a good idea. at all.
They've got a kryptonite collection. None of you are a Kryptonian, are you?
not telling.
Earth's Yellow Sun only makes me want to go back inside and watch more movies.
Now, come on, you know I'm only Marvel fictional characters at any given moment.
You're
All right.
kind of Kree scum.
No, my thing's kind of like also I wish they would do this, and I've wished it for a long time, but lately with the advent of all these absolute books, it's really, really made me want what's his name who does Spawn, Todd McFarlane, to get off his fucking dickhead douchebag high horse, sell back the rights to fucking Miracle Man, one of the greatest comics ever written by Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman, and get that shit published in an absolute edition. I don't even have any absolute editions.
I'm gonna
but
toast
I
to
would
that.
put that shit on my credit card now
Yeah.
if that was available.
I'm going to toast to that.
Okay, now
Amen.
you've listed the thing that you
Yeah.
can't possibly
But
have.
Well, it's not entirely out of the question that could happen, but nobody can send that to me.
Right.
Are we asking for stuff for people to give us?
Well,
we're not expecting it.
Honestly, what I want more than anything is just a goddamn high definition television set.
Dude,
I
I
don't even
I went
have
to
one.
Walmart for Black Friday and they were almost giving them away.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you get
Like-
trampled?
Like, imagine like paying $300 for a 32-incher.
No,
Really?
I was. At
They
the store
fucking killed a
the other
guy
day,
in
They
Las
still
Vegas.
had them about
they
there.
did. I saw that.
I just don't have
Fucking
$300.
terrible.
That was the thing. I was there and I was like, wow, that's so cheap for what it is, but it's not on my list and I'm not going to just buy stuff just to buy it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. But that's me.
Right
All
on.
Rich L.E.O.G fans out there, you know who you are. Money to blow. You're just
Greg.
going to pay taxes
There are
with
there are a
that.
bunch of Rich L.E.O.G fans. I didn't know that.
There's got to be at least one.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, according to quantum physics, anything's possible, but I'm thinking this would be that exception.
I
The
might
L.E.O.G
actually get
universe-
Miracle Man this year. It's a
gonna
better
say.
chance.
Wow. What's on my Christmas list? I don't know. I would say I don't know. I mean, you could be practical.
A ball gag? Sorry, I took Jason's joke.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm getting yes.
That's right. You're getting married. You would want a double who could take your place. You could slip out.
yeah.
Well, we're
Yeah,
going to
you're going to want a nice vial
You know
of
what?
strychnine.
We're
Life
going to
model decoy.
Hey, no, we're going to Vegas. Maybe over go to that next county over, where the bunny ranch is. That'd be kind of fun.
Ooh, just make sure you get on HBO.
That's all-
Sign the release form.
Oh my god, man, that would totally ruin me. But there's a couple chicks on that show that I'm like, Connie,
Man, you're a musician. Just the fact you're getting married to this woman has to tell me that she must be one of the chicks who's like, hey, honey, can I bring another girl to the bedroom? Would that be all right? Because, come on, you can
No
have
comment.
anybody you
Yeah.
wanted.
no
Her
comment.
vagina must erupt with angelic light.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But
It's like one of those Hallmark cards they have now.
just opens
It's
up-
like fucking Dagger from Cloak and Dagger. It's awesome.
but it all
But once you tie the knot,
you were
it's like Cloak from Cloak and Dagger.
actually though, in all seriousness, what I would like for Christmas is I'm looking for really some actually bandmates. I want my band.
Bandmates.
Greg and the Get Down is the name of the band, and I'm looking for the people that can play.
Kinda like,
And someone named Greg, I guess. Who's one of them.
Yeah.
Clearly, the bassist ain't gonna be the front man.
Well, I just don't play bass. I can bring my guitar every once in a while if you want me to. I can bring the guitar.
That'd be kind of cool to mix
Well,
it up
there's
a little
been
bit.
plenty of bassists who've been the leader
Larry
of
Graham,
bands.
Paul
It's just
McCartney,
really good
Sting.
ones.
Yeah, but it's just
Sting.
that every time the lead singer breaks off on their own and leaves the band,
Kiss?
obscure.
Kiss, Gene Simmons.
So is
Yeah.
Chinese Democracy on your Christmas list? Because I could
Fuck
actually
no.
make that happen.
I didn't
yeah.
give a shit about the Guns N' Roses album before that.
Yeah.
Why would I want one 17
No.
years later? Besides, don't you kind of have to have Slash to be Guns N' Roses?
Yeah,
Yes, you do.
Exactly.
You can't have Guns N' Roses without Slash.
Precisely.
Now the bassist you could do without, but
Duff McKagan, who was actually a guitar player, and that's usually in all those bands. It's like, okay, dude, I don't want to play bass. I don't want to play bass. Well, fuck it, you're playing bass because you're not as good as a guitar player as me. That's how all those bass players started playing. McCartney, Harrison said, "Fuck you, you're not as good as me. You play bass."
There's no way Harrison said "fuck you" to McCartney.
No, he did. He did. No, it was Lennon who said, "You're playing bass."
Okay.
And
You're playing
and
bass?
McCartney said, "Oh, okay." Yeah, that's how it came down because they were all three of them were guitar players because they had Stewart.
well, Leon was actually there. So.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wait. That
All right, Jason.
I would like to be bitten by a radioactive spider.
Yeah. Yes.
And get cancer and die. Seriously, dude, you would so
That'd
go
be
the way
alright.
of Patrick Swayze if that
It'd be
happened.
worth it just because you got bit by a radioactive
Yeah,
spider.
no, my
It'd be like
my
bragging
brother
rights.
actually works in the radiological industry, so to speak, and he carries around isotopes and important things that I don't understand.
Listen up, terrorists.
that's like a 24 episode.
He carries weapon grade crystal meth
Where is
in his pockets.
yeah? Where's Kiefer Sutherland to kick his ass?
Precisely. So, and I keep telling him, I'm like, if you see a spider, you blast that motherfucker and you bring it to me, and it will bite the shit out of me. All right.
What about gamma rays, man? Don't you want to be like the
I just
Hulk?
seem like, man, Jason, those things really do bite. But then they die right away.
Exactly. Or, if not the proportionate strength and speed of a spider, there is a badass Millennium Falcon.
Oh, the one from childhood.
Oh yeah.
That is
Yeah.
sweet.
There is the new one.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
I know what you're talking
It's
about,
just like
dude.
the one from childhood, except they've added a few new things to it.
Oh my god, it has some bells and whistles. It's like $150.
Yeah.
When you open
I've
it up,
seen it for
Greedo
99.
shoots at you immediately.
When I was a kid, I had one that was 75
So did I.
bucks.
Did you
I-
really?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
You talking about the
I-
original when it came out? I had that too.
I never had the Millennium
I wish I
Falcon
saved
growing up.
that.
I had
Oh.
the Death Star growing up.
I had that too.
I've loved that fucking thing, but this thing, it's like 2.5 feet long, and it's got all of
No,
the
dude.
chambers in it.
You know what? The funny thing is, like when I had it, I was like, I like Star Wars, but I wasn't as into it. But I love the Micronauts, so I had all my Micronauts in it, and I pretended it was the Endeavor.
you got the Micronauts over the
You
Millennium
don't.
Falcon.
I had the
That's
oversized
fucking
Planet of the
hilarious.
Apes characters sitting
this
inside my
hilarious
this
because you
Millennium
understand what I'm
Falcon.
talking
Yes.
about.
I'm Bill Madlow. Woo!
This Millennium Falcon is like 2.5 feet long. It comes with Chewie and Solo.
It's got the holographic chest thing that
It does.
that lights up.
Really?
It's got a missile bay. It's got a life pod.
Wait, how much
I mean,
is this
yeah,
thing?
it's
Yes,
both.
so-
Is it not fucking
It's
gorgeous?
got, it's
It
got
is
the
a
Jedi
beautiful
practice
thing.
ball, except it's
Really?
got more of a disco
Yes.
ball.
Looking at it almost makes me forget the prequels.
Oh,
Well,
God,
it's
it is
the one
boom.
when, after Lando's flying it, so it's got big fuzzy dice hanging.
Yeah. and
it flies in
and,
the lean.
Yeah.
Lean west flying and shit. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
4
he
people
dropped
can
in the
fit
front.
in the
Yeah.
cockpit. It is fucking gorgeous.
No, man, dude,
I almost
I
bought
had
it
that.
the
It
other
was
day,
awesome.
and then I realized, wow, you could pay the water bill, or you could buy this thing.
Yo, man.
I could buy something that I'm not just gonna curl up around and purr.
Exactly.
Get something useful.
As Star Wars fans, if you spend your money on anything this year, buy that fucking Millennium
Yeah,
Falcon.
it's
It is
pretty damn
gorgeous.
cool.
It is the ultimate Millennium Falcon representation, period.
Barring a operable lightsaber, I
Isn't
can't
there
imagine it getting much cooler.
isn't there a spill PO box that people can send shit to? I mean, there needs to be a spill PO box.
But you
care
do what I
of-
did and add my Amazon wish list link on your profile page.
You whore.
You are a whore.
Hey, I've gotten 4 things off it, so fuck.
Wow!
Are you
whoa,
fucking
whoa.
kidding me?
I know.
Let's
I know who it was. I know. Who it was.
let's
I was
take a
there.
break so we can all adjust our Amazon wish list.
I'm telling you, that is wow.
And
Can you
thank
add
so much. I'm
blowjob
so
to
grateful.
Amazon?
Horniness is not a crime. Open your heart and your mind. Horniness is on the
Christina Alvarez asks.
What? Wait. There's a woman asked a question?
Yes.
Shut up,
it happens.
motherfucker.
No, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's Christian. Sorry.
Man.
Sorry,
Psych.
Christina, who doesn't really exist. I'm sorry.
God.
But Christian Alvarez asks, Jason, what L.E.O.G member do you want to fight the most?
That is awesome.
Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, only because he's not here.
Because he's not here, and because he's the only one who is smaller in stature than me, I think I could take him. I think I could take him. And plus, Grant would be easy to fool. It's like, hey, what's going on? Because he's so nice. He's such a nice guy. It's like, hey, let's go have a beer. And then I stab him in the face with a broken bottle.
Oh.
And he'd be like, oh, okay, man, that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, that was totally on accident. And then I
It
stabbed
must
him in
have
the
fell
throat.
into that
I've
stabbing.
got this wooden stocks, just like they used to have in olden times. Go ahead, put your head and hands in there. It'll be
Exactly.
great. I'm just going to take a picture. It's fine.
You do know he's an ex-Navy SEAL, don't you?
No shit.
Well, he was. Would you believe an Eagle Scout?
What do you believe?
No.
Knock your ass up,
what's
man.
funny is that so many people think that I dislike Grant. I love Grant because he's the lowest guy on the totem pole, and I'm the second lowest.
Yeah.
And I think I
Hey,
could kick
I
his
thought I was
ass.
the lowest guy.
That's true. He came in after Grant, didn't he?
I'm the lowest guy.
Yeah, but you're still cooler than me somehow.
No,
So-
no.
Oh, where you get that? People love you. They're always like, Jason.
That's just you.
I have like 8 different identities on screen. I'm always trying to make
when
you
is
guys
the
feel
Cyrus
better.
of Zurin R?
Is that why you were wearing purple and yellow?
My weapons grade nitrous oxide and start writing.
Weapons grade.
Weapons grade Rohypnol.
So Genova Pooh asks, since Cyrus and I were talking about Somewhere in Time a week or so ago, I
Facts.
was wondering what movies make each of you cry like little bitches.
Oh my God!
Ooh, that's a good
Okay,
one.
yeah, let's do it.
I got a
I'm ready.
bunch actually.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Mo, you're
John.
first.
Just throw them out there.
Well, I've read her full question. She brings up Moulin Rouge, and yep, I'm the same damn way.
Makes
At
you-
the
that
end of
movie
Moulin
makes you
Rouge.
cry?
Hell
me
yeah.
too.
It
Uh,
makes me
but-
cry, and I'm like, when's this going to be over?
Wow.
Exactly.
I feel a hate crime coming.
I know.
Song?
So the manly version. 2 things.
The end of First Blood.
When Boromir dies in Fellowship of the Ring,
Oh yeah. Okay.
weep like a little girl,
would've-
especially when he says when he acknowledges Aragorn as his king.
I'm giving you
I'm
dabs
going-
from across the room.
Oh, God,
right
there we go.
bro.
Deaths.
Second thing, Star Wars: A New Hope, when the Millennium Falcon comes swarming down out of the sun. Yeah, it's like, that's it, kid. And yeah,
You're all clear, kid.
You're all
Let's
clear,
blow this
kid.
thing
Let's
and
blow
go
this thing,
home.
go home.
I'm just going to do my one real quick, the biggest one ever. So bad that last week, when I was adding the little bits of movie themes and stuff to L.E.O.G, I actually started crying just because it was the music from the scene from the funeral of Spock and Wrath of Khan that I can't even see. I'm tearing up.
Amazing
now. I
Grace.
can't
Really?
even
Amazing Grace?
think about that end when when Shatner, when Shatner goes, of all the souls I've encountered in my travels, this was the most human.
Hey, you know
Every
what?
time this
I
thing
would talk shit
explode.
to you about that right now, but fuck yeah, Cyrus. Fuck yeah.
All right.
Here you go.
The big one, the one that you guys will identify with, I'll save for last. Let me start off with a movie you probably haven't heard of, Hillary and Jackie. That one really got me. That and House of Sand and Fog.
Oh, good
House
movie.
of Sand and Fog, I cried so hard I was in pain. Like the next day my stomach hurt just from those muscles hitching up so often.
I thought I knew you.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, then shut up.
No, it's a really good movie. Yeah, it's a Gandhi not wearing a silly wig for once.
Yeah.
and doing a great
You know
job.
what? That's
It's just so tragic in so many ways, and where you see like you watch it all come together like a train wreck, and you look back and like you believe everybody's motivation, and there was just no way to prevent something like that, where you feel like it could have been, but no, there wasn't. But there's that scene in The Incredibles that I always tear up on right before they fight the Omnitrix. Is it the Omnitrix? The big whatever the big
The
robot
big
monster
horrible
is.
ball thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
right at the end where he's about to go fight. He's like, "You guys stay here. I'll go." And she's like, "What? No. Was this?" He's like, "Look, I'm not strong enough." "Oh, this is about you proving your strength." He's like, "No, I'm not strong enough to lose you guys again."
Yeah.
See, he's just even saying that. I can
No,
barely
I know.
get that out.
Yeah, it's getting to me too.
Wow,
But the number one cry
Okay.
movie, a movie where I tell people you're gonna cry when you watch this, and I have guys tell me all the time, "There's no fucking way I'm gonna cry," and the next day they go like, "You're right, I cried." The Iron Giant,
Yeah. Yeah.
the big
good one.
sacrifice, Superman. God damn.
Wow, I don't know. Maybe I'm weird because it's like all the movies I cried at are like based on real things. Like I cried in Gandhi when the people were protesting
God, shut the fuck up.
I know,
Greg.
like the non-peace, the non-violent protests. They were walking up this line to the Indian guys who were with the English. And they kept walking up, and they kept getting beat by these sticks, and just like it just.
Yeah.
And they
If the
kept
Indian
walking
Spider-Man didn't come into it, then
yeah, it just. So I would say Gandhi. I would say the absolute first time I saw Boysenhood. I don't know what it was about.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
No, not him.
About that shirt Cuba Gooding Jr.
No,
was wearing?
when oh
That
man,
did
Morris
make me cry.
Chestnut got shot. I don't know. It just hit me.
I'm surprised because when I
don't
finally
know.
saw it, that his death is so telegraphed.
I know, but I don't. I just.
I
It's
barely
like the
remember.
Pony Express almost beat
I
it.
know, but I was younger than you when I saw it. It hit me. And then,
I know.
then-
Go ahead and say it.
Everyone
Everybody
was younger
was.
than me. Ron.
No, and then the other one, you guys are gonna laugh at
you
me.
saw it in my face, did you,
Yeah.
Leon?
he just lit right up like a light
I
bulb.
was waiting to figure out how to phrase it right.
The
Hey,
one-
I heard that not thinking about me, and I was ready
Right.
to say it about whoever he was
Just
talking
say
about.
it. But and the other one was Love Actually. Which
See,
wait,
now-
listen to me. But it was like the credits when they're showing the real people at the airports at the end.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
And
That's
because
good.
I love that, I think it's that Beach Boys song. God Only Knows. I think it's one of the greatest songs ever written.
I liked Love Actually. I didn't
And-
love it,
and,
but I did
and with
like
that
it,
song,
but,
God only knows what I'd be.
Yeah, but now it's
without
all
you with
creepy
that.
because of Big Love.
Yeah.
I don't watch Big
Although
Love,
that is
so-
one of the best opening sequences.
Oh, it is.
of the-
Totally
of the
is.
story.
Yeah.
Other than like Dexter.
Dexter's
tops
number
Yeah,
number
see,
one.
I've
It's
never
right
watched
up
Big
there.
Love, but I mean, something about that song and then the airport where they're showing real people, it just gets me all the time.
By the way, Hillary and Jackie, this is funny because I was like, where did I see that? It's because I was writing up the introduction for Mary's review of When Did You Last See Your Father, which I
Oh,
know
God.
Jason hated.
Fuck that.
We have some daddy issues, do we, Jason?
No, it's just we have some issues with, oh, he's dying of cancer. Let's make a fucking movie about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
It's just a snowy black wave.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I'm just
Not-
glad
Oh,
there's no
you
father
and your
issue.
cancer always bumming everybody out.
It's always about you, isn't
Yeah.
it, Dad?
Cheer up. Get a little chemo. Suck it up.
Can I talk about my crying movie?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Crying Game.
We
I was
thought
gonna
you've never cried.
The Crying
was
Game.
Like Chuck Norris.
You're right. Next question. I was going to say Iron Giant, but Leon stole it. I was going to say Star Trek 2, but Cyrus stole it.
You don't say Star Wars: New Hope, but Bo stole that.
I didn't steal it.
wasn't.
That was mine, bitch.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got 2. Empire Strikes Back. When Chewbacca's kicking ass against the stormtroopers.
Oh, he says,
and,
"Hold on."
And Han Solo's like, stop.
Yeah.
He's like, it's okay. And this is going to be very contemporary and fanboy. Serenity. At the very end, when Mal is about to say, take us up or whatever, and he says, but I bet you know what I'm about to say to River. And River says, yeah, but I like to hear you say it.
Yeah, no. And not to mention the big shocking character death in that film. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I've watched the movie 5 times, and every time I know it's coming, and I
you
still
win.
just go,
I am a
God
leaf on the
damn it.
wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm going to take a little jaunt to the message boards here for a second, and I'm going to back up something Bo said about someone spoiling the end of Watchmen. Fuck you. Oh, seriously.
How much
20
time-
fucking years ago.
How much time have you had to read this?
What's the moratorium on this?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, he comes back.
Yeah. Oh, God. You spoiled the end of Watchmen for me. Guess what? Kevin Spacey's Kaiser Soze. Anthony
Spock
Perkins
dies.
is his mom.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The South lost Civil War, man. You know, we don't want to spoil
To
anything.
be fair, I think he came back later and said, "Oh, I was just joking." So
Okay,
I will
fair.
Yeah.
accept his word on that.
Really? I won't. Fuck him.
Yeah, it's,
Fuck that guy.
Suggestion.
it's the same way Carlisle was just joking about his line.
Oh, Lion King.
Communist.
See how he brought that full circle? You've been doing that all night. Doing well with
We've
bringing
all
this
been
stuff
doing
full
that.
circle.
I was trying to work in the weapons grade crystal meth, but I just couldn't find a way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weapons
If
grade
you-
anything.
If,
Well, you
if
do
you're
know
pissed
that-
because I spoiled or someone spoiled the end of Watchmen for you, you are on weapons grade crystal meth.
Well, you do know that Disney, one of the biggest capitalist entities in this country and indeed the world, is just a shill for communism.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
Well, that's actually
I mean,
true, though.
that's why they never put out any product. Because they don't want people to spend money on it.
They're trying to bankrupt everyone from spending money and all this on the Little Mermaid.
yeah.
six.
Oh my god.
I really,
Soon we'll all have universal health care!
I really want a T-shirt with Mickey wearing a beret.
Oh, man.
Che
if I could
Mickey?
find, like, the Che Guevara shirt, but with Mickey Mouse, fucking A, dude.
Or
My
Mickey with
my
the sickle?
favorite T-shirt is Che Guevara, and at the bottom it says, "This shirt was brought to you by
Right.
capitalism."
Spider John says this, and he's absolutely right. He says, you guys mentioned a while back you really like Transmetropolitan, my personal favorite comic series ever, and could or should spend some time talking about it, but you have not so much as mentioned it again since then. What gives? And I wasn't even going to read this, but we were talking briefly about Transmetropolitan right before this because Jason just finally read it. And
The
it's
main
like,
problem is getting
gaga.
everybody to read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am only 7 trades in, and all thanks be to Bo for introducing me to this. Seriously, this is a work of genius. And you know what? A lot of people throw that term around lightly, genius. But
We certainly do.
Yeah, we certainly do. Transmetropolitan is a work of genius. Period. And I am seriously ready to canonize Spider Jerusalem. He is someone. He's not just my hero. He is someone we need. He is someone we need in this society. And Transmetropolitan is one of the greatest comic books ever written, bar none.
It's Fear
End
and
of
Loathing in
story.
Las Vegas set 10,000 years from now.
And that's honestly that's marginalizing it. That is not giving it the justice that it deserves.
Sure.
It is Hunter S. Thompson set in this dystopian future, but it is brilliant. It is a commentary of all of those things that we are experiencing and that we are going to experience, whether it's within the next 10 years, 50 years, or 100 years. And Bo, take it away.
Oh, I mean, I blush to add anything to that.
No, what do you
let me
say
say
after
this.
that?
Yeah,
as,
what do you-
as somebody who has not read it, tell me about it.
I mean, he does bring up some of it in the fact that the main character, Spider Jerusalem, is a journalist, and he's not a corporate journalist. He is an independent journalist, and he writes a column, and he's basically got enough carte blanche and got enough pull that he can actually write the truth, which most journalists don't really do.
Right. Yeah, he's a journalist known for his personality and his caustic take on things.
He's very much modeled after Hunter S. Thompson. In no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's
Who most people will know from Doonesbury.
yes, most people. Yeah, it's Uncle Duke from Doonesbury. He's kind of drug addled. Anger issues, does not work well with others, actually was so scathing and vicious upon the telephone to a politician in Czechoslovakia at one point that he caused him and several other people to commit suicide. But it's so brilliantly and funnily written by Warren Ellis, and he does a great job of basically taking the society that we're in right now and amping it up to the nth level. I mean, he takes the omnipresence of technology and just blazes it into a new level that, if you've got anybody with an iPhone, imagine an iPhone that is as powerful as like a military grade computer, but it's like installed in your head and everybody on the planet has one. I mean, that's the level that technology is at. They can manipulate people genetically so that, you can become like, you can have the traits of a dolphin. They've wiped out cancer. They've wiped out a lot of diseases, but there's still like horrible poverty going on. And there's new diseases that are coming up every day. There's a new religion founded every 5 minutes because people are still looking for spiritual satisfaction and happiness. It really encapsulates a lot of the problems that we go through in this society and looks at it through this, kind of super attenuated telescope that's projecting the future. And
if you're not reading it, and if that doesn't interest you, read Spawn and hit stop on the L.E.O.G broadcast.
Well, okay. Some of the things you say made me do a Chuck Intersect flash on American flag. Would they be comparable in any way?
Yeah, I think there's a lot there. Definitely, because it's Ellis, it's a lot more violent and a lot more scatological than even American flag. Yes, I know
Okay.
you're raising your eyebrows, but yes.
No, I'm not.
It's hyper violent.
It's hyper violent. And one of the little things they bring up is the idea that journalists are insured. And this insurance allows them to do basically whatever the fuck they want, including beating the living crap out of people.
Yeah, it's kind of a license to kill type of situation.
Yeah.
They're just that big of a celebrity that they're given sort of a free
Journalist
rein to do whatever the
If
fuck you
the
want.
term I will spread my seed while humping your exposed brain, if that appeals to you, read Transmetropolitan.
So, honestly, Warren Ellis is one of the best writers working in comics today.
Sure.
Now, not everything he does works, and perhaps maybe it's a little more difficult when he takes established stuff and works with it.
His Thor relaunch was an abortion.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
No, he's not, like I said, he's not as good with the established characters, but when it's some universe he's created his own or is, helping along the way shortly after its launch. Like his run on The Authority, holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Planetary
just a great book
is
anyway.
legendary.
Planetary is legendary.
Please get off the stick and finish the damn series, Warren.
Exactly.
Transmetropolitan is finished, though.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
complete run.
His new run on Astonishing X-Men, following up Whedon,
Starting off good.
starting off very good. But I have to say, Leon, Transmetropolitan will affect you.
Okay.
It's really great.
It is.
Well, just seeing how it's affected you guys has me.
I would definitely
intrigued
put it
and
in
ready
top
to jump on
20
it.
comics.
And it is very political, but it's apolitical.
Yeah.
Spider Jerusalem is a very political character, but he is not someone you can put in any particular party. And this has been the bone of contention and a point of discussion amongst all of the L.E.O.G members that I am somewhat right-leaning. I love Spider. Bo loves Spider. Cyrus loves Spider. He
just hates bullshit. is his
Yes,
thing.
he is about the truth, and he is a vile, disgusting character full of righteous rage.
Well, that does sound like all three of you. So
It does, doesn't it? And you've never even seen me on the weekends.
But I highly recommend, if you guys are looking for anything even remotely intelligent, Transmetropolitan
Wow, that sounds
is
like
the one for you.
Sounds like a pretty good Christmas gift for somebody who doesn't read comics. Me.
It's one of those. It's one of those. There you go. But you should
See? There you go. See? Now, get the bass player
Yep.
the best comic
Well-
that you guys have ever read.
That-
Anybody out there?
I was actually I was going to show this this comic to my girlfriend, and then I realized I'd like to keep her around.
It is a good comic for people who are interested, but not really so much in the superhero thing, because it's not the superhero thing. But you got to make sure they're ready to handle some pretty dark, fucked up material.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I hang out with you guys, so yes.
One thing that should really be brought up, which we haven't really touched on, it's wickedly funny. It is fucking hilarious. So,
And it's so intelligent.
Yeah.
Really, it is one of the most intelligent comics I have ever read. And I know I've built it up way,
It's Grant
way too
Morrison.
much.
If he wasn't so crazy, he could
Yeah.
stick on subject for a while and explain himself.
It's Grant Morrison if he wrote a comic series that didn't spiral out of fucking control.
And there apparently is something very horrible in the water in Scotland.
Okay, like back to Grant Morrison. Just a quick thing that I was thinking about with Batman R.I.P. Like this thing that Grant Morrison does, what he did with his X-Men, where suddenly with the White Queen, who's been a psychic for all her existence, and then suddenly she went like, "Oh, I discovered I could turn my skin to diamonds."
Right.
Yeah.
And he just throws that in there. There's no setup for it. There's no explanation of it, and no character reacts to it going, "Wait, what?"
Well, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
what happened?
honestly,
Talk
it-
about
Well,
it not
actually,
being
if you
organic.
grew up in the X-Mansion, I guess you'd be like, "Hey, I suddenly discovered I could start breathing flame," and you'd be like, "Oh well, I just had feathers come out of my ass, so just another day in Westchester, I guess."
I would like to, because they've established that not all mutations are cool. Some of them just suck,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
AKA the Morlocks. You would love to see somebody like Scott Summers, like the handsome, dashing man, suddenly develop a new mutant ability with giant hairy warts that
Or boobs.
start growing out of his or boobs. There you go.
Hank turned into a big blue kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
well,
still
not just a kitty, but after
He's a giant blue lolcat.
I want
after
that.
decades of being a ladies' man, one day he goes like, "Oh, yes, I've also discovered I'm a homosexual."
Yeah.
Wait,
And
did
after
Hank
several-
turn gay?
Yeah, he announced he was gay.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, he did. And then months
He's
later,
not gay. He's a feet.
no. He came out and said, "Yeah, I've discovered I'm a homosexual."
No. That was actually a ruse.
Oh.
That was established where he was just fucking around. And I don't know if that was retconning more.
No,
because the Carlisle explanation.
No,
seriously,
well,
that was totally-
I know what you're talking about.
I was going to mention that like a year later when he got asked about it, he was like, "No. I was off on a
Hey,
tangent."
right.
Oh, by the way, Quicksilver, big Mo.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Incestuous Mo, no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the thing with Grant Morrison and Spill readers, if you are reading anything that has Grant Morrison in it, enjoy it for a few issues,
Yes.
and then step away.
No.
Because it will descend into absolute fucking
He
madness.
has done some stuff that was really
Just
good.
eat
Such
some
as
eat
Doom
some
Patrol.
mushrooms and read The
Wonderful.
Invisibles.
Yeah, the Invisibles, wonderful.
which the end of Doom or the end of the Invisibles descended into absolute
Oh, really?
fucking
Yeah.
madness.
Well,
I've
to be
read the
fair, that
Invisibles.
whole book was complete.
No, wait.
madness, but that was the
there
point.
is a Justice League graphic novel that he did. And when people ask me what are the great Justice League stories, that graphic novel is one that it's called Earth 2. And it's one of the ones I
yeah,
suggest
that's a good
That
people
was
read.
really good.
Earth
Yeah.
2's great. Arkham Asylum is
Yeah, I
awesome.
really like Arkham.
But
Asylum.
like, yeah, like it's not a long run where he has a chance to go nuts
Exactly.
and fuck it up.
So you've never read the Doom Patrol run, guys?
No.
It's
Oh, it's awesome.
wonderful. Yeah, it's one of the things that got me back into comics along with the Sandman.
And yeah, it's Doom Patrol, so you can kind of screw around with it because people there aren't like, oh my god, I'm the biggest Elastigirl fan in the world.
There's a point, and like I said, it's insanity. The whole thing. It's like, okay, this is for people who like to get high and read comics, and that's there's no mistake. That's what it is. There was a run that was wonderful on it. That was so much fun. Where the villain had gotten Dr. Albert Hoffman, the guy who accidentally invented LSD. They had gotten his bicycle that he had ridden the day he accidentally took this massive dose of LSD, not knowing that it was going to cause hallucinations, and rode the couple miles back to his house, and halfway through the ride started tripping, first guy ever to trip on acid, tripping his balls off. They got this bike to power a bus, so they're just driving to the city, and the magic of the bike is making everyone just start hallucinate like mad, and they're just doing it because they think people should hallucinate. It'd be good for them. That's the villain's motivation.
awesome.
He's not vicious. He just thinks
Doors
we'd
of
all be
perception,
nicer
man.
to each other if we opened our doors.
This
to
was the
perception.
Invisibles?
No, this is Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Doom Patrol. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so moral of the story, Grant Morrison is perpetually fucking high.
Yes.
And honestly, as great as his All-Star Superman is, which he is doing that whole thing of like pulling in all those stories from the 50s that were so crazy, there was a point, there were two issues that I didn't buy because it just went too far.
Oh, and by the way, Grant, if you ever happen to listen to this, I just want to say, I know that you're a chaos magician, and although I think that's bullshit, there's a statistical chance that I could be wrong, so please don't turn us into toads or, you know.
I'm just
like
going to say, hey,
Roseanne Barr's panties or anything like that.
I'm just going to
We're
say,
all
hey,
Where
good.
did that
Grant
come
Morrison, you're just doing it to get chicks. I'm on to you. Okay.
So remember when you're feeling very small and insecure, how amazingly unlikely is your birth. And pray that there's intelligent life somewhere up in space, 'cause there's bugger all down here on Earth.
Kyle Voliti, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Kyle. Apologize for that, but I think he's a relatively new commenter to L.E.O.G, and he asks, in broad strokes, what do you think DC and Marvel are doing right in comics right now? We talk so much shit about these comics. He's right. We rarely go, oh, here's what's going good right
Accent
now.
the positive.
Well, gosh.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I would say we only talk negative.
Well,
I mean,
we definitely talk more negative than positive, I think.
well, I mean, the stuff
So we
that's
just have
good-
more fun doing that.
Yeah, it is
but,
more
but we
fun.
say how great stuff. I mean, we just
Captain
we
America.
just spent like 10 minutes jizzing all over Warren Ellis. What do you want?
Well, that's not DC or Marvel.
No.
Yeah, that's DC.
That is
it
DC.
Yeah,
DC?
DC
That's
Vertigo, baby.
Well, okay. Let's say DC's
And Marvel.
Marvel's primary universe.
Okay, but I mean, but we spent plenty of time. We've
World of Krypton. We
World
talked
of
big
Krypton.
about how great that. We talked incredible stuff about Ed Brubaker's run. On Raw. You know,
on Daredevil and Captain America.
we're always big into pumping up Brian Michael Bendis.
Yeah, but whoever was saying that, okay,
Ultimate Spider-Man.
I love Brubaker's run on Daredevil, but I'm sorry, dude, get off your thing about Bendis.
Oh yeah, somebody
What
was
is
like,
that shit
"Oh,
about-
Bendis isn't any good." Brubaker's
Yeah,
line
Bendis
is just
sucks
like
at everything he ever did.
I'm sorry, but you are legitimately insane. You should seek some help, or hopefully there's somebody attending you right now.
Bendis is
Yeah.
pretty polarizing, but I'm on the side that he's pretty bad at it.
Yeah, look, Brubaker has managed not to embarrass himself, and he found a good way to wrap up the storyline that Bendis left him with. But he's no Bendis.
No,
Bendis
no, he's
ruled Daredevil.
Yeah, like I said, I would make the argument that his run is actually the best Daredevil run.
Yeah.
Better than Miller's.
I really enjoy the way, particularly Marvel, since, of course, I'm not a DC guy, but I am keeping up with DC. I really enjoy the way that a lot of Marvel's events seem to have some sort of long-term effect on the universe at large. House of M, Civil War, and so forth. I know that everything eventually will go back to the status quo, but as it is right now, I'm really loving that they stick with it. Because it really, everything is temporary in comics.
Yeah. But at least let it play out for a while. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, I prefer the Marvel crossovers just in that they do affect the universe in a way that's very solid, as opposed to the DC with Crisis. There's a lot of DC books I haven't read just because they have one crisis after another, and I never know what they're going to retcon, and they'll kill a character off in one of them, and then he's alive again 2 books later.
Yes, I believe the next Crisis story arc is going to be called "We Really Mean It."
Yeah, Reader's Crisis.
Yeah, I will say one thing very positive about DC that I love. We were kind of talking about the DC universe before we started recording tonight, and I really love DC's got this really, really rich history. I mean, almost too rich, because they have to continually go back and retcon stuff that's been going on for like 80 damn years.
Yeah.
But I really like their respect for their history, and lately they've been really doing a great job of bringing up old characters and making them cool and relevant again, like Adam Strange.
Yeah.
I love a lot of the stuff they did with Hawkman, although unfortunately they canceled the series, but I was really getting into it for a while there. Obviously I'm a huge fan of Green Arrow, but I think they do a really great job of taking that stuff. Even the stuff that Grant Morrison was doing, I think people have been doing, like, as far as reaching back into the 50s and bringing out those silly little storylines, I think a lot of other writers have been doing that and doing a good job of it.
Yeah, and there's plenty. I think there's more we like than don't like, or otherwise we wouldn't be doing these podcasts.
Well,
I mean,
why would I be dropping $40 in the comic book store if I don't like it?
Exactly.
Leon and I were having this conversation a couple of weeks ago where I was explaining to him that, hey, 616 is the main Marvel universe. And he
that's
said, well,
Earth.
what other Marvel universes are there?
Right.
And it goes
615
on.
others.
Yeah, it goes on and on and on and on. And all these alternate futures, that has really ruined not just Marvel, but specifically X-Men for
Apparently,
me.
there's even a separate number associated with every single Marvel crossover with another company. Like Marvel DC is set in a completely different continuity
Yes.
in its own specific Earth number where that takes place.
It's
The Marvel
disgusting.
DC crossovers,
It's- yeah.
as well as Marvel,
They-
Top Cow and Marvel whatever.
They've needed to level out the X titles for a long time, and that was one of the only good things that I was looking forward to out of House of M, which they were like, oh, we killed off like all these extraneous mutants. So I was like, rad. Now, like, let's start boiling down the X titles so you only have like 3 or 4. Nope.
Yeah.
No such luck.
No, we've killed off all of the X-Men that you've never heard of.
But all of the 113 mutants that are still alive all have their own title.
They all have That's what we should do. Joe Quesada's punishment. You're no longer editor-in-chief. Instead, you're the one who has to keep all those stories on.
It's up
Yeah.
to you. You have to do the mop-up work.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have to
his
make all those
name is
continuous.
Axel Alonso, and all of you should say a prayer for him tonight for being the editor-in-chief of all of the X-Men
Oh
stuff.
my God, can you imagine? And it never stops. Not only are there the primary titles, but they keep doing one-shots that take place
yeah.
any given place in time over the run. Like, what the hell is this? When is this supposed to happen?
Yeah, it's
I'm confused.
it's really just
And now
mind-boggling.
they're introducing a whole new team of X-Men.
Are they really?
Yeah, there's this character, Dust, that they're calling possibly the most powerful mutant.
Oh, no,
And her
no,
power
no.
is she turns to dust.
Yeah.
That she can control. She's
She was
anthropomorphized dust.
introduced in Grant Morrison's run, actually,
She turns to dust.
and she was pretty
Weapons
cool,
grade, crystal
but
meth.
she's a minor character.
Well, it's going to turn out that she's really Magneto.
Yeah,
oh
right.
yeah, of course.
But one of the things we were talking about, the Astonishing X-Men, that I love, a joke that keeps running in there is with the character Armor. It's like, that'd be like calling Wolverine Claws.
Yeah.
Or, it's just a lame
One of the
name.
few things that was good about Whedon's run on Astonishing X-Men.
Oh, see, I really like his run.
You know
you
what?
guys are just mad that he shipped Kitty Pryde out. Into space.
Yes, I
yes,
am.
I am. Yes,
It's
yes.
not like that's gonna last. Come on.
But
Yeah, I mean, if there's been any theme to this Leon,
Yeah, it's
is
that transient.
Yes.
that and weapons grade crystal
And
meth.
weapons grade
Crystal
crystal meth.
meth.
And Grant Morrison should not write primary
And
superhero
he's
titles.
on weapons grade crystal meth.
yeah,
He
Whedon
invented it.
You know what? If you want to read a good Whedon comic, read Brian K. Vaughan's issues of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Or Frey,
Because
which was
he
excellent.
out Whedon's Whedon.
He does.
Whedon, like Grant Morrison, is a great idea guy, but just really weak in the execution.
I hate to say, I think Josh should take a break for a while. I really, really do. Because his last little run on Buffy, I was just like, I just got the ending issue today, and I was like, really? That's it?
It made no fucking
He should
sense.
step back and be editor and approval guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah,
anyway.
I gave up on Angel.
I've been reading the
I was just
quote-unquote
like,
Man, I
season.
never thought I'd hear you say that.
actually
I
still
have been
like
reading
Angel
the
better
quote
than
unquote
Buffy right
season
now.
8 Buffy, and right as they come out, I've been reading them the day that they
Yeah.
came out, and they make no sense. It is really hard to follow, and then once you do connect the dots, you don't fucking care.
They make too many, and they did this a lot over some of the writers of the series before Whedon got back in the game. Did it a lot, where they would just make these remarks to minor events that happened during the length of 7 fucking seasons. How many episodes is that? How many hours? Some minor event, and then it's important to the plot to remember what that event
Right.
was.
Now that sounds very Grant Morrison.
But even
Yes.
worse, okay, so they've got this artist for Buffy season 8 who's like, okay, they're all right, but they certainly don't draw a character so well that they look exactly
Yeah.
like the actor in the thing. So they go, hey, look, it's this guy.
Yeah, you're
remember
like,
him?
who the
Well, we're not going to explain
fuck
to you.
is
two.
that?
Come on, look at him. You recognize him, right? And they're like integral to the story,
Yeah,
remembering
I am actually
who the fuck they were on
yeah,
the show.
I am actually. There are a couple of issues I've been meaning to pull to cut from my pull list, and Buffy is at the top of that list. Buffy and Conan, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sad.
I know. It really is.
But not as sad as the fact that this is the end of another L.E.O.G.
It is.
It
It's
is
the end.
Woo-hoo, this is what
This
made us
is
all
the
cry.
The episode where men cry.
All right, so you guys got our Christmas wish list. You got
Yeah.
plenty of time to get out there and buy stuff.
Yes.
A whole month, nearly a month.
Stimulate the economy. It's good for America.
I
It's your
still can't
patriotic.
believe-
It's your patriotic duty to spend.
Yeah,
I
you
still
don't want
can't
the
believe that
terrorists to win.
whore
On us.
Cyrus has already received 3 things.
4.
Four.
In
So-
fact, I'm going to be starting a new thing on there where you can buy my old DVDs for me, and if you pay the $20 per, I will also include a personalized recorded messages for you. How's
I-
that
Oh, look at
sound?
you.
Wait a minute, outside of the
charging
free
$20
one that they
for a
listen to
DVD?
every
Sure.
week?
Yo.
Well, because they get the personalized audio
Oh
recorded
my
message
God,
from
look
me.
at that.
Like I'd be like, Genova Pooh, I just want you to know I love you.
I will
I do.
fight you.
$20. Sign up
$20
now.
to say that. Wow,
For
that's
that
pretty good.
message, you would have to give me the DVD and a few dollars.
Well, yeah,
I like
but you
that.
are not
And a
in
hand
my-
job.
I like
You are
that.
not my demographic. But
Cyrus
Yes,
the
apparently
entrepreneur.
having more than 5 or 6 functioning brain cells, I am not.
hey now.
Hey, come
I'm-
on now.
Buy Cyrus's DVD. He lives with me and he needs money.
I'm thinking your demographic is not to steal that money from their mom's purse.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Oh,
and I'll send
no.
you back a balloon with the word "sucker" written on it.
I'll send you a balloon filled with weapons-grade heroin.
All right, folks. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.